Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
And away we go, another week, and it should be an eventful one. We welcome you in on this Monday, November 11th, 2019, and I know everybody's been in observance and recognition today of Veterans Day. I don't know how insufficient thank you can be. In this case, it is. But thank you to all the vets and all their families, and everyone that is sacrificing, to those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. I cannot imagine it. Cannot imagine that sadness. But again, thank you from appreciative nation and from us right here. This week will be eventful. What a newsy Monday we have on the field of play, between the white lines, on the court of play, and in the courts. This is a week where I probably should have watched a little more of your show, the little Bluff City Law show, Drew.
They actually had a episode, I think it aired about 3 weeks ago, where Jimmy Smith's characters in their law firm, Straight and Associates, actually takes on the NCAA.
What's their firm?
Straight and Associates.
Straight as in straight and narrow?
Kinda. It's spelled Straite.
So like George Strait. How's George Strait spell it? It doesn't matter. But
I think about that way, yeah.
The law firm of Strait, huh?
Yeah.
They have elaborate firm inside the marble hallways, big fancy bookshelves.
They got the bookshelves. It's not really that elaborate. I mean, you could see the building. I mean, it's right there at Front Street, and
it's not the building that housed
Martin Luther King.
What was the firm? What was the law firm in the firm? Bendini.
I think that was more like towards the courthouse down there. Yeah.
More toward the University of Memphis Law School down there.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful, the old courthouse.
Oh, it's great.
Post office, rather. Old post office. It is gorgeous. So it's going to be a newsy week. There's going to be injunctions. There's going to be stays. There's going to be a lot of legal wrangling. It's really more toward next Monday. But everybody's kind of playing their best junior lawyer bit. I'm not going to try that. I'm just going to really pick up where I left off on Friday afternoon, and that is go get them. Go get them. It's time. It's time somebody did. Now, with that, I was telling Drew before we started today, that Dave will join us about 4:30. He is in Portland. They're going on the big fashionable tour of the Nike headquarters as we speak. He will join us at some point and can't wait to get his first talk show over there comments when he joins us. But I was telling Drew before we started today, and I think we all have a little bit of this in us, because I do think it is American to dissent. It is American to, it was American to protest the Boston Tea Party. And through the years, through a lot of good causes and some not so good. There was somebody there, and this was anti-American, but there was somebody there in the late 1850s, early 1860s, and Fort Sumter going, well, I got an idea, let's secede. Great idea until Grant, Sherman, and McClellan decided to fight back. It is fun to be the revolutionary. It is fun to be the bomb thrower. It is fun to be the person raging against the machine until the machine fights back. And the machine will fight back, but it is time for somebody to wage the fight. And that somebody appears very much to be the University of Memphis, with full administration approval in Dr. Rudd, through the athletics department with Larry Veach, down to the men's basketball coach with Coach Penny The rest of us in college sports, every stripe, every fandom, every logo, you need to join in on this battle. You need to be part of this fight. Because if it's not the University of Memphis today in the headlines, it could be you tomorrow. And it's what I said consistently during the Ole Miss stuff, and I promise you, this is not Ole Miss bitterness. It is not. I think I said it mostly in this voice during those years. Be careful with the glee out there. Be careful with the stories of bags of cash and this rumor and that car and those clothes and this story and that story. Be careful with that because it could be you tomorrow. It could be Tigers or Razorbacks or Bulldogs or Gators or Volunteers or fill in the blank. It could be just about anybody with the big screaming headlines tomorrow. I don't know. I do not understand why approved to play and then on opening night, last Tuesday night, as the story now goes, told not to play him, that they've had a second look at it. Here's what scares me the most in the end is however far you want to fight this. I think before it gets to this point, there will be, this euphemistically, there will be a sobering up. There will be an examination of, do you really want to do this for careers? Because if it doesn't go well in the end, it could be catastrophic. Do you want to do that? And maybe try to negotiate a plea bargain, not a plea bargain, but just negotiate. James Wiseman misses 7 games. Reported over the weekend by Seth Davis that they wanted 9 games. They said no way. So let's all, kind of get together and do that. But a lot of people are saying, do not comply. Do not negotiate. Do not plea bargain. Do not settle. Das Boot. All the way. Sic Semper Tyrannis. All the way. Death to the tyrants. Go all the way.
But it's a lot easier to say that on the outside when
easier.
You're not the one that's going to be paying the price. I mean, ultimately,
hey, go get them.
Yeah, it's easy to say, hey, y'all go get them. I'm gonna watch over here from the sidelines. And I'm with you. I think it's time that, and I think with the whole paying players thing, and it's building momentum to fight against the machine that is the NCAA. But at what cost is it going to take? And is the cost really? Is it going to outweigh the benefits?
Now,
and what kind of benefits are you actually going to get?
It is fun to be a part of that insurgent, revolutionary, let's change the world, burn the village down to save it, until you really step back and think, well, they could do that. Because in the end, texture, all caps, I agree, do not comply. I agree. But somebody's got to think about what are the repercussions? How does this really look in the end? The specter of, I guess, ultimately, death penalty. And I don't know how any NCAA member institution gets around this. I don't care how many courts, how many jurisdictions rule on it, and you get a stay and you kick it to the next one. Ultimately, it could get to the Supreme Court, and I think these simple questions really hurt, in this case, the University of Memphis Tigers or anybody else that's the member institution of the NCAA, is when they're having the hearing and that judge says, did you willingly join the NCAA? Yes. When you did that, you agreed to comply by their rules. Is that correct? Yes. In so doing, you know that they are judge, jury, and executioner. You decided to join it. Yes. Get out of my face.
But on the other side of the coin, you could also argue, what choice did the university have when they said to be a member of the NCAA?
Roll over and take it.
It's either join or die. I mean, the University of Memphis isn't as big and isn't what it is today without the NCAA. I mean, you choose not to play by the NCAA's rules. All right, that's fine. Go be part of the NAIA. But you're not going to be able to thrive. You're not going to make money for the academic side of the institution to where you really didn't have a choice to begin with. It was either join and grow or don't join and die.
And I hope it gets to the point. I want to see the NCAA wrecked. I want to see the monolithic organization that it is. And isn't it a shame, a little bit like some forms of our federal government, that member institutions of the NCAA, and that's because of fans, that they're that scared of the governing body? Isn't that a shame that sometimes we're kind of scared of our big old unwieldy federal government? Isn't that a shame? And I tell people, love, 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 love this great country. Don't trust this government for 2 seconds. Not for 2 seconds. And it's why every one of them need to be watched. I don't know if people know this, but a lot of times if you're watching any of the TV cables, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, any of them, ABC, NBC, CBS, a lot of times they will do stand-up shots right outside of the U.S. House of Representatives chamber. And the great Oklahoman, the great satirist, humorist, Will Rogers, who was never a member of Congress, but he has a statue, right, and a lot of times you can see it right behind this. If you're watching kind of the news tonight from Washington, a lot of times that stand-up reporter is right outside that House of Representatives chamber, and behind them's Will Rogers, and his only request is when they ask if they could commission and do a statue of him, he said, "You can, but always keep me to where I'm facing them, where I can keep an eye on those sons of guns." And he didn't say sons of guns. And you can go on the tour of the Capitol or right outside it, and you can see it. A lot of people rub the feet of the statue of his for good luck. And if you watch the news, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he said, "I want to be able to keep my eye on those sons of guns all the time." That's kind of scary that we've got to live like that, or even be a little bit in fear like that.
It is bad because ultimately the way that government is set up, and especially when we're talking about the NCAA, it's not something that you should fear. It's something that you should have
welcome
faith.
them coming to town.
Exactly. You should have faith that they're there for your best interests and not to hurt you. But history has shown multiple times, both talking about the federal government and the NCAA, that
they play rough.
That's definitely not the case. It's a lot more personal interest than the interests of their constituents or of their members.
I talk about being, one of the, quite literally they were, and that was wrong, but if you want to be one of the revolutionaries, if you want to be one of the bomb throwers, it was fun, and I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was a high old time, quite literally, high old time in the late 60s, early 70s for the Weather Underground, for Abby Hoffman and those guys. A lot of our younger listeners won't have a clue who that is. Hit the Google machine. It was all fun and games till the FBI was wiretapping his telephones. I mean, it's all fun and games and giggles and going to rallies and, make love, not war, until they decide to play rough. And in this case, if the NCAA decides to play rough, very extreme example here. But what if the Tigers keep fighting them? And I want them to fight. I want them to fight. And I want Razorbacks, Rebels, Vols, Bulldogs, and everybody to rally with them. But what if the NCAA goes, okay, you've gotten a couple good shots to the kazoo of us. You've taken us on. Look, you're getting national acclaim from all the blue check marks that wanted to hang Ole Miss from the tallest tree. But now all of a sudden, all the blue check marks, 4D, Wetzel, et cetera, you know who they are. They're all, go get them, Memphis. We're with you. But, when it was Ole Miss, it was quite different. And when it was a lot of other people, it was quite different. But what if the NCAA goes, okay, you better win that automatic conference bid come tournament time? Because that tournament committee decides who's in, especially those at largest. But Tigers do that. They go 29-2. They could. What we picked, 3, 4, and 5 wins, the three of us.
Yeah, I think I had 28-3.
All right, let's say they go just every game, just like Drew said, 28-3. They win the American tournament. They roll into Selection Sunday, and outspits a 9 seed in Pullman. How'd that happen? Now, I almost hope it gets to that. to show just how dirty they play, just how corrupt that bunch is. I hope it gets to that. I'm sorry that the Tigers would have to be the sacrificial lamb, but they've almost assumed that possession Friday. And going forward, unless between now and next Monday, there's some mediation and some calming of the antipathy and the stridency in the fight. But if not, it's going to play out. We're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Man Cave sale going on now at Family Leisure. 3-piece theater seating sets only $9.99. Massage chairs starting at $6.99. Pool tables start at $14.99. Shuffleboard tables start at $19.99. Complete your man cave today at Family Leisure. Still needing to close down your pool? Call Family Leisure today to get on the schedule. Mention this ad, and you get $20 off at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Got a busy Monday show. We will talk a lot of Tigers, of course, on the field and off. What a difference a week makes. Remember a week ago Monday? A week ago Monday, that high. And it's a shame the NCAA carries that power to affect people's happiness and contentment like it has. But we got a lot to talk about today, and we will do it. We'll have our medals. We'll have David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal. He is in San Antonio covering the Grizzlies. 4:30, we talk college football with John Thompson. At 4:50, our Ghoul Style segment. Barrett Jones to talk college football and the big win for LSU on Saturday. And at 5:30, our Monday Night Football preview. And with it being the 50th year of Monday Night Football, we'll have our Big Four all-time for Seattle. And we'll basically have our Big 5 through 8 for San Francisco, since we've already had them earlier in the year. I think when we had San Fran early in the year, I had Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, and Steve Young. I think that was my 4 for San Francisco. So we'll have 4 more tonight. We mentioned T.O. then. We mentioned Dwight Clark then. We mentioned some others. We'll have Seattle as well. And we'll wrap it up at 5:50 or so with Taco Bell Crunch Time. What an upset it was in Tuscaloosa. 6-point underdog. LSU won easily. I think if you watch the game, I did not get to watch it real time. I watched most of it yesterday morning, and they really controlled the game most of the day. They were the better team. The eye test the committee likes to talk about,
Yeah.
the eye test, LSU was the better team. I said this after seeing Alabama in person. I can't wait to visit with both John Thompson and Barrett about this. After seeing Bama in person in late September against Ole Miss, I said I just don't think their lines of scrimmage, either side, are peak, are epic, are vintage, are the great Nick Saban teams. I don't think they're that particularly physical. They're not that nasty. And when you run a 3-4 and you can't get there with your down lineman, and they couldn't, Burrow was back there, cozy as he could be in one of these nice recliners at Family Leisure. He just picked them apart.
He did, and I think Joe Burrows really set himself apart yesterday. I mean, Saturday going 31-39, 93 yards, 3 touchdowns. But the thing that impressed me most was Joe on his feet. I mean, those QB draws, especially late in the second half, just was the difference of the game.
Often on third down.
Yeah, and
momentum.
But you were exactly right. I mean, watching that entire game, you knew LSU was the better team. I can't tell you how many times LSU had their foot on their throats, and all they needed to do was score right then and there, and it would have been completely over. A good 5 times I had to have turned to people and said, they score right here, it's done.
I've already had a pretty sane, they make them, sane Alabama fan tell me that he's ready for the rematch. I didn't see anything Saturday that screams, look out for the rematch.
I didn't either. And the thing is, matter is, they are still technically alive. I mean, we've seen Alabama do this, go into the college football playoff with a 1 loss and not having won the SEC championship. But the resume, the eye test, it's just not the same. I think there was much bigger of an argument when they did do it. You could see, like, well, maybe it's not the guidelines that we thought we were going into this college football playoff as, but, they could be one of the 4 best teams. And just the eye test through this far, the resume, the non-conference play teams, it's just not there.
I don't really know who that 4th team is, but right now I just don't feel like that it's Alabama.
I right now, if I had to do it,
is it Oregon that lost to Auburn that Alabama still plays and all that good stuff?
I don't know. I just don't like anybody really from the Pac-12. That whole conference is just
if
bad
Oregon
to
wins
me.
out, they're in good shape.
They are in good shape.
If they don't, well, then they'll be out. And LSU rightfully vaulted to number one in the AP, and I think tomorrow night in the CFP. Texter at 67129 at the First Bank text line says Burrow got hit a lot. He's a tough one. He did. He got jostled around in there, but it was always right after the ball was thrown. It was, where they had to pull up a little bit on him. He was calm and collected, and the LSU receivers were great. The LSU offensive line, it was great. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Make it a November or a December to remember at Lexus of Memphis, 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Fall Sales Event. Again, make it a November or December that you'll never forget. Great offers on all the remaining 2019 models. 2020s have rolled in, and the special lease options always available at Lexus of Memphis. If you've ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look outstanding in one of those beautiful cars as well. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style or one of those 2020s. Lexus of Memphis, the high standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, what do you think it is? Any guesses? It continues to be this story, and it will be simmering for a while. This is our sports story of the year. It's not even close. It could be the sports story of our lives because a lot is at play. I'm not trying at all to be falsely dramatic. Everybody knows the stakes. The Tigers are taking on the ultimate man. They're taking on the power broker of all time. In the end, I don't know how you can square, I'm a member of this organization, but I don't like it. It's almost like if you were in a homeowners association and somebody built a replica Tower of Babel in the front yard. Well, somewhere in there it says you can't do that. And you agreed to that on the front end. Take it down. On the front end, the Tigers agreed to go by these rules, but they didn't agree to be played. And they didn't agree to be the NCAA's pinata every 10-year cycle. And this is what a lot of this is. This is payback as you know what. This is back to Marvin Alexander and Sylvester Gray. This is about two sets of rules, maybe three. And when the Tigers are on the wrong end of it, real or perceived, it's one thing. And when somebody else is on the other end of it, real or perceived, it's something else. And this is why everybody needs to join in. Every fan of every group in this area, you need to be pulling for the Tigers in court. You don't have to pull for them on the court, but you need to pull for them in court because the NCAA needs to be torn down.
I'm with you. That's my top story of the day as well. The Memphis Tigers and James Wiseman versus the NCAA. We've talked about it right now, as you said, probably is the biggest sports story in Memphis this year. I don't know how this is all going to end. Is it going to be is the benefits going to be worth the cost? I hope so, but I also don't want to over-dramatic it all together because we also thought the whole FBI scandal in case with
Great
college
point.
basketball was going to be the biggest thing to happen in 20 years, and 3 guys went to jail, and nobody big ever got affected.
Now, tell that to Chuck Person, but we thought head coaches. I
thought heads were going to roll.
Rick Pitino was going to jail. And he'll be coaching again before he ever spent the first day in jail.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly
Great
how
point.
this is going to end.
Not top story of the day.
I'm sorry for Joe Burrow and LSU fans, but it's the not top story today. It normally would have been the big story, and it is a big story because Joe Burrow is on his way to Lower Manhattan. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. The second Saturday night in December, he will join Billy Cannon as the only LSU winners of the Heisman Trophy. Who had that one? Who had that 6 months ago? Who had it 2 years ago? You know, Joe Burrow's dad started his career at Ole Miss. He was there.
I did not know that.
He was there for 2 years in the 70s. They said he was a little bitty feisty defensive back, 5'9", 5'10", 160-pound player, and knew somebody at Nebraska and transferred out to Nebraska and then stayed out there and coached for a long time. And, you know, then had Joe and the Burrow family. They're going to be in New York City. Joe Brady should accompany him, but Ed Orgeron, Ed OMG, Ed, oh my goodness, Orgeron is going to be at the Heisman Trophy ceremony coaching a quarterback that won the award. I could have bought it at a tailback, maybe the first middle linebacker ever, but a quarterback for Ed Orgeron, he's earned it. I said I had to see it to believe it. I saw it. I believe it. And LSU's that good. When we come back, we will have our medals from the weekend, and we want your input. And I know you have not been bashful about it. We don't want any passive, bashful listeners and texters. 67129 at the First Bank text line, 360-8255. We'll have time for some calls at the First Bank phone line. You are listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on this Monday afternoon on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
It's the holidays, people, and our guys at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch told me to say a big thank you to everyone driving All-Star Chevys, and to each of you wanting to buy a new Chevy to come to All-Star Chevy today. Test drive the Silverado, Traverse, the new Camaro. It's ABC simple. A, the All-Star Chevy Challenge to bring any written offer from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to All-Star so they can give you a better deal or buy you a tank of gas. B, better buying experience that's fast and fun for you. And C, customer care to take care of everything you need so all your future cars and trucks to be in the All-Star family. Because over 75% of All-Star customers are repeat buyers, and no other Mid-South Chevy dealer can say that. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Not South Haven, not the Pike, not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. So go to allstarautogroup.com and find the Chevy you want. If you don't see it there, they can get it for you fast. allstarautogroup.com.
Did you learn your ABCs when you were a kid? Well, as a grown-up, it's time to learn your CBDs, as in CBD edibles, oil tincture, pain cream, and beauty products. All found at your CBD store, with 3 locations: Poplar Avenue, North Germantown Parkway, and Goodman Road East. You'll find all natural, organic, and non-GMO products. Need to learn more? Your CBD store has a knowledgeable and friendly staff that can answer questions, help with choices, and put you at ease about your CBDs. Your CBD store, with 3 locations: Poplar Avenue, Cordova, and South Haven. Your CBD store, making it as easy for you as ABC CBD.
If you are thinking about renting or purchasing a compact excavator, the best choice is Bobcat. Bobcat excavators are made in America and proudly represented by the Mid-South's largest compact equipment dealer. With 9 offices, Williams Equipment has the most locations for rental, sales, and service. Whether you do plumbing, utilities, swimming pools, concrete breaking, or foundations, Williams Equipment has the right Bobcat excavator for you.
This is Cody Bumpus, the Bobcat Specialist of North Mississippi. Call me for a demonstration and a finance quote at 901-508-8739.
Help Landers Nissan make this Christmas merry for low-income families by donating new, unused toys and gifts or monetary gifts to Trinity Church's Affordable Christmas Store. Low-income parents will get to pick and purchase gifts at 1/10 retail value. Donate at Landers Nissan or by texting Trinity to 77977 Tuesday, November 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's when Landers Nissan will match your donation. All donations go to provide toys for participating families.
Listen up. If you're a parent or a young man looking for a sport that will change your life, I want you to consider wrestling. This is a good sport that develops integrity, discipline, a strong work ethic, and a fitness level that will last you a lifetime. And the best way to learn this craft is at Elite Wrestling Academy on Highway 64 in Bartlett. It's located in the Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu Complex, or you can call them at 901-870-7275 or look them up on Facebook. At Elite Wrestling Academy, you have the top coaches of the game in Memphis, led led by Chris Douglas and Jeremy Doty. The ratio is never more than 4 wrestlers to a coach. They have 3 All-Americans, 3 state champions, and 3 wrestlers on the national team. This is a youth wrestling program for 1st through 8th grade ages and is a feeder program for all Memphis high schools. If you're interested, you're invited to stop by, see the place, and get a free week just to see if you like it. The boys practice 5:30 to 7:30 Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Presidents, CEOs, and NFL players love wrestling. Come see why at Elite Wrestling Academy. Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
360-8255 First Bank phone line, 67129 at the First Bank text line. We'd love for you to be a part of the show. You can message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. 67129 at the text line, 360-825 at the Old Faithful telephone line. If you'd like to join in, poor UIC, the Flames, they got torched Friday night. They were the first victim of a very angry Memphis Tigers team, 92-46, and it wasn't that close. Now, the first big matchup of the year, and since the schedule was released, I've been pretty bullish on the Tigers blasting Oregon, not just beating, blasting them. Being so big that the next day the talk of college basketball being the Memphis Tigers. Well, I'm not going to get that because the talk of college basketball, it's Memphis already for a different reason. Would you call this, it's definitely a cloud, would you call this scandal?
I wouldn't call it scandal because of, this didn't happen while Penny was the head coach of the University of Memphis.
Very clearly.
This didn't happen when James Wiseman signed a letter to be a basketball player and a student at the University of Memphis. So it's not a scandal. I would say it's a cloud. It's a misinterpretation of the rules or the actual interpretation of the rules that is just flat out wrong and should be changed. So I wouldn't say it's a scandal because it's not as bad as other things.
Oregon tomorrow night, I still think the Tigers blast them, and James Wiseman will play as of right now unless there's some type of agreement into tomorrow. If the NCAA came to Dr. Rudd and Laird Veach and said, all right, let's stop this before it gets any more embarrassing or becomes a scandal. Why, it's still just a disagreement. Here's 5 games. Would you take it? Take 5 games. Miss tomorrow night, miss Alcorn State, miss Little Rock, miss Ole Miss, miss North Carolina State.
I'd counter with 3. If they could get it down to 3.
All right, and then they said, all right, let's call it 4. They start with 5, you counter with 3, they agree to 4. Would you do that? And kind of this goes away?
I take it, and this is why. I think you actually can spin it in a positive light. Not that I was submissive, but they were so worried that I had a case and I was going to bring down the house that they tried their best to get it to sweep it under the rug as fast as possible. You can spin it as this while we're still getting the suspension, we won.
Wouldn't the NCAA chalk that up to another one that really kind of had to take their medicine? We won again.
They can spin it that way, but I think if they started out at 9 and you work your way down to 3 or 4 because you don't want it to go any longer, you just want it to be done, I think you can spin it positively for the University of Memphis that, hey, they were this worried that we had this good of a case and that we were going to set a precedent for this later down the road to where it could even get even more out of hand for the NCAA.
And, of course, with the spirit of unintended consequences, even if the NCAA agrees, I just can't believe they're going to just, okay, well, you got us. I mean, you just can't take on City Hall with them. And, okay, they agree to – they negotiate it down to 4, as we're saying. And I don't even know if that's in the realm of possibility. We're just using that as an example. But then they decide, let's go in and just check out all the paperwork on everybody. on every scholarship athlete there. I'm telling you the worst thing on earth. If you see Jim Cantori, Tom Rinaldi, and that Rich Johannigmeyer, that one investigator they have at the NCAA, if those three show up on your doorstep, you're dead and you don't even know it. It's impossible to overcome all three of them. But I'm joking, but Rich Johannigmeyer, I think he's the only investigator they have, and he doesn't play nice. Man, he has busted some heads through the years, and he wins in the end, always. You can take him on, and he always has final say-so.
Yeah, and at this point, I want to rage against the machine. I want there to be actual change, but...
No, you don't. You said you would take the settlement. You don't want to rage against the machine.
Well, here's the thing, and I brought up this example during the break.
You either rage against the machine or you settle.
I brought this up during the break. I mean, there's innocent people every day that are getting accused of crimes, and a DA comes to them and say, "I've got you dead in the water, 15 to life, or I can skip this trial. I'll give you 3 years." What are you gonna do?
In 6 months, time served.
I mean, at this point, unless real change, and I think the only real change that this could lead to where this doesn't happen down the road is we actually dismantle the NCAA and start anew.
All right,
but
now, how's that going to look?
Exactly. Who's to say that the new isn't going to be just as bad or even worse?
Well, it's got to be better because we often, and I agree with him on this, I think he grandstands on a lot of NCAA stuff, but I do agree with Jay Billis when he says we need to have an NCAA constitutional convention and bring in all the delegates representing all the schools and start this thing from scratch, from page one, rule one, and get rid of some of the fine print and the nuance of it. But more than that, I think I want to just scrap it and have a total new operation. Now, who's going to run that operation? Who's going to be involved in it? We know we have 130 FBS college football teams, about 355 Division I college basketball teams. Are you going to have it that big? Are you going to bring in Williams College? Are we going to bring in Tufts? We're going to bring in Rhodes? We're going to bring in CBU? Are they going to be under the rubric of the NCAA? Are we really just going to go the big boys run it? What kind of basketball tournament does it look like then? Is one shining moment playing at the end of it? I guess it could. What of it? They don't own the song, do they?
No, they don't own the rights to it.
So we'll still have our stupid little brackets every March, won't we?
We should.
We should. And we'll at least get out of the idiocy of direct your questions to the student athletes, which I've always, I wouldn't do it to here. I wouldn't do it to the bosses here. They don't deserve this. I don't know how I would do it, but I would love to get credentialed. And when it's your time and you stand up and give your affiliation, hi, my name is Brett from whatever, and all you ask them about the student athlete, you ask them nothing but academic questions. So every time it comes back around to you get the question, they'd quit calling on you. They wouldn't let the person go over there with a microphone. The sound person in the back would pot it down if they had to. They're going to win, but I would love to just do nothing but bore those get-togethers with, well, tell me about your studies. What are you majoring in? Exactly how much classwork do you do? Because they're so big on that, and we know it's malarkey.
And we know it's malarkey because the NCAA helped cover up the biggest academic scandal in the history of college sports at UNC.
That was supposed to be the untouchable, where you just don't go on grades and such. And they did do that. Also, I would like, in this new world we're going to go into, who's the commissioner of it? Do we have a commissioner of college football? Do we have a commissioner about college basketball? You know a lot. I don't think Title IX, being federal law as part of the U.S. Department of Education, I don't think that goes away. But I think a lot of men's sports, golf, maybe baseball, basically become like they used to be. club sports. Sign up is at the Union, tryouts Saturday morning, and bring your own tennis racket.
I don't
really
know.
Want to go there?
I don't know if it goes that far.
Well, that's the revolution.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know where it's going to go.
That's the Rage Against the Machine. That's the Das Boot part of Das Boot.
When you start to knock over dominoes, they're going to eventually end. And is the end result of knocking over this first domino, is the end result going to be better than what we started with? And I just don't know. And I honestly don't think it will, because I think power and money,
worse.
it ruins people, and even good people with good intentions. We've seen it throughout all of history that this regime is gonna be the right one. We're gonna do it the right way.
We're gonna manage it.
We're gonna drain the swamp. We're gonna be the difference makers.
Right.
And it never happens.
Never happens.
So is the end result better than what we have now? I can't 100% say yes.
And there's this. When I say Vols and Razorbacks and Rebels and Bulldogs and Gators and whatever need to join in and be supportive here. Not just supportive, but we also have to get to this point in college sports. We've got to stop the selective amnesia. We have to be honest with each other. We have to. At most big-time TV places, football and basketball, y'all know who I'm talking about. We don't have to call names. You know who I'm talking about. If you get five-star tailback, you're not getting him because of the family atmosphere, the hot tub and the cold tub and the waterfall and the way we feed them and the way we treat them and the trees and the rocks on campus and the buildings and the library. But when your rival gets them, they bought him. They bought him. New car. A lot of times you can't prove it, but you suspect it. We've got to get past that. We got to get past when we get them, it's wholesome. It's family. It's all the right things in the world. I mean, cherubic babies are dancing in our around us. No, we've got to stop that. If you get him, fine. Next time we get him, then we won. Instead of every time, 5-star anything, point guard, tailback, defensive end, linebacker, quarterback, it doesn't matter, post player. Everybody's in unison saying they cheated. That's not fair, because it may not always be the case, but we know it's almost 2020. Let's all be adults about this.
That's the rational way of thinking, but it's not going to happen, because we are too tribalistic as nature, to where it's me versus you. It's me in blue versus you in red. And if what's best for me in blue is for you in red to be bad, and if y'all are good, obviously something's going wrong.
It's got to be one of those.
Red team,
good versus bad.
Red team can't be good. They can't be just lucky. They have to be cheating. They have to be bad.
Not a redeemable
blue team,
quality.
We always win.
The opponent, there can't be one single solitary redeemable quality about them. Why would you go there? Has got to be the refrain. We've got to stop that. We've got to quit getting so hunkered down on that stupid first Wednesday in February, that used to be the signing day, and then now we've got another one, which I could hardly stomach one of them, much less now we got to stomach two of them, and we went to two in college basketball a long time ago.
You don't like the hat dances and players
I don't mind a young
saying the
names
of the schools.
I don't mind a young man and his family being proud of the accomplishment that he's put in that hard work and he's going somewhere. I don't mind that at all. I think you should celebrate victories. I think you should celebrate good days. But how did it have to get so canonized? How did it have to get so glorified? And then we wonder why. We turn some of them, not all. There's a lot of great stories out there in college sports. But why do we turn some of them into monsters? And a lot of times the monsters come from us, the fans. And we have to stop that. We need to join together, and we need to be honest about it, about what we're facing. Now, so far in this, $11,500 in moving costs. In the big scheme of college sports, that's nothing. I didn't know it was that expensive to move from Nashville to Memphis.
I didn't either, but
whatever. And at the time that Penny Hardaway became a booster, he had no way of knowing that someday he would be the coach. I don't think he thought he was going to be the coach a year before he became it. I would really like to know, in his heart of hearts, when was the first time it dawned on you, I got a shot to be coach of the Tigers? I bet it wasn't until February of that year, because if we remember, and I do, and we all sat together, me and you and John Harden sat together at the Houston game, didn't we? Didn't you sit with us?
We did, yes.
Yeah, I know you did. My brain, I'm sorry. We thought that was the breakthrough win for Tubby to back people off. That night, I encountered a very well-heeled Tiger booster, and he asked me, what do you think about this? I said, well, I think tonight was the breakthrough win. He said, it's not going to work. This has got to get changed. I said, are you kidding me? And the change has started. So I don't even know. I don't think Penny Hardaway's name had been mentioned for the job to that point.
I think rumor-wise, but nothing hopeful, nothing set in stone as he's an real.
But he sure
candidate.
didn't know it when he was 7 years old.
No, he didn't, and he definitely didn't know it back in 2008 when he gave the money to the university to build the Penny Hardaway Hall of Fame museum. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I was always on the Penny train. I was.
You were scared up from what happened to Larry Finch.
Yes, that's exactly right. So I don't want people to think, well, he was hating on Penny because he thought something like this was going to happen. I never thought. I was worried that we would turn on Penny, not that a scandal or anything even close to this would ever occur. But at the time, I don't even think the people in Penny's camp that there were all about Team Penny, we got to get him in, realistically thought it was going to happen.
When we come back, I promise we'll do medals and we'll wind up this hour. We'll visit with David Cobb down in San Antonio. He's with the Grizzlies. They rested John Morant on Saturday night. If you're a season ticket holder, if you're wanting to see the building blocks of the future, you got ripped off Saturday night, and it's bad form. A guy 9 games in needs a rest, and he's 19, 20 years old. Look, if you don't want to play 82 games, change your schedule. Move it back to whatever. But you don't charge those people for that, and you give them something else. When we come back, we round out hour one. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. With a family coming home for the holidays, are you going to be running out of hot water? Not with a tankless water heater from Conway Services. It may be time for a tankless water heater that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Plus, no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Do not hire Franklin & Sons Electrical. The guy told me he'd shrink my monthly bill, and I'm like, dude, it's too small to read as it is.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then he's like, where's the circuit breaker? I'm like, bro, I didn't break anything.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
He told me I had a blown fuse. It's called a short fuse, and yes, I do have one, so watch yourself.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Listen up. If you're a parent or a young man looking for a sport that will change your life, I want you to consider wrestling. This is a good sport that develops integrity, discipline, a strong work ethic, and a fitness level that will last you a lifetime. And the best way to learn this craft is at Elite Wrestling Academy on Highway 64 in Bartlett. It's located in the Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu Complex, or you can call them at 901-870-7275 or look them up on Facebook. At Elite Wrestling Academy, you have the top coaches of the game in Memphis, led by Chris Douglas and Jeremy Doty. The ratio is never more than 4 wrestlers to a coach. They have 3 All-Americans, 3 state champions, and 3 wrestlers on the national team. This is a youth wrestling program for 1st through 8th grade ages and is a feeder program for all Memphis high schools. If you're interested, you're invited to stop by, see the place, and get a free week just to see if you like it. The boys practice 5:30 to 7:30 Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Presidents, CEOs, and NFL players love wrestling. Come see why at Elite Wrestling Academy.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Medals from the weekend. I start first, Drew, or do you want to start first? Either way.
Dealer's choice.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start with my bronze. I'm going to give a bronze to my Baltimore Ravens for winning 5 straight games and for looking like the for sure champions of the North in AFC. I don't know if there's any team left on our schedule or in the playoffs that can handle Lamar Jackson. He is
Bengals.
Just looking phenomenal. Became only the second quarterback in NFL history to have 2 perfect passer ratings in the same season, and I can't remember who the first guy was.
Pretty good
became
company.
the second one.
Yeah, pretty good company.
Let's move on to silver. Going to give a silver to the Titans for their big comeback victory against the Chiefs, 35-32. Less than 2 minutes to go. Titans seemed dead in the water. All the Chiefs had to do was kick a field goal, muff the probably the worst snap that I've seen from an NFL long snapper
and then one
in a
with
long
the kicking
time.
Colquitt went quarterback and threw it to nobody for an intentional grounding. Titans keep it interesting, don't they?
They really do. They know how to keep you engaged through all 4 quarters. So I'll give them a silver for that big comeback and defeating Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And my one gold is obviously to the hero of the weekend, the guy who just, I think, wrapped up the Heisman Trophy later this year, Joe Burrows and the LSU Tigers. Burrows went 31-39 for 393 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also, like I said earlier, very impressive on his feet, 64 yards. Definitely the gold medal of the week.
If he doesn't leave Ohio State, does he go on and have that career there? Does he ever win a Heisman? Probably not. Don't forget Justin Fields come Heisman balloting. But Joe Burrow looks like he's going to win it. My bronze. You have a rust?
I've got 2 rusts. I'm going to give a rust to the Pac-12 official who has been suspended for 1 game after awarding the penalty to the wrong team in the Cal-Washington State game.
They keep it interesting in the Pac, don't
they? They really do. And just officiating altogether this year, I think, is just getting one big rust. And I'm going to give a rust to Arkansas for pretty much everything. For getting blown out at home against Ty Story and the Hilltoppers Western Kentucky. Also for firing Chad Morris. I'm not saying he's a good coach or even the right fit for Arkansas.
No, he was a horrible coach.
But could anybody have done better the last 2 years in Fayetteville?
Somebody could have not lost at home to San Jose State in Western Kentucky. How about Ty Story? He left Fayetteville Saturday with more SEC wins than Chad Morris had. My bronze goes to Baylor. They stay undefeated narrowly. like in-state SMU narrowly won and in-state Texas narrowly won. All three teams were lucky Saturday in Texas. Give a bronze to Razorback basketball coach Eric Musselman. Beat Rice by 48, got a commitment from in-state five-star Moses Moody. We'll have 15,000 there tomorrow night on a Tuesday night for a home game against North Texas. And now he's the senior in the athletics department above the football coach, not above Dave Van Horn, the baseball coach. At Arkansas since 1970, 2 baseball coaches, Norm DeBryan and Dave Van Horn. Dave Van Horn's got to be laughing at all the upheaval in football. My silver goes to Clemson. How are they underestimated? Dabo will have to get that Roy bus out and cranked up when it really matters. Another silver goes to Tennessee defensive back Nigel Warrior. If you've not watched him play this year, it is true to the name. He is a warrior. He is a great player that plays his you-know-what off. And Tennessee's played hard. They're not very talented. I don't think they're any good. They really do play hard. My gold goes to Tigers basketball. On the court, no worries. On the way maybe to a Final Four. Off the court, biggest gamble in university and program history. Also a gold to the purple and gold of LSU. Number 1, Ed Orgeron, Joe Burrow, Dave Aranda, LSU. Y'all put it to Bama. Much better team Saturday, and I don't think you should fear anything in a rematch. My rust goes to Andy Reid and whatever that was down the stretch in Nashville yesterday. Also to the Bengals. They're no better. Can't blame it on Marvin Lewis anymore, can we?
No, they're just really bad.
AAF commentator Marvin Lewis, remember?
I do remember that.
Remember that? Also, standing Rust Award for the NCAA, and also a rust for Bama's defense. It's just not very nasty. When they had to play man-to-man, they couldn't cover them, and then in a zone, Joe Burrow lit them up. Arkansas football next year, for anybody that takes that job, good luck. Horrible roster. Horrible in-state recruiting year that most of the 4 or 5 good ones have committed somewhere else. And here's your schedule. Open against Nevada. They beat San Diego State Saturday night. Nevada's pretty good, and they return 18 out of 22 starters next year. That's week 1. Week 2, you go to South Bend. Yeah, that's South Bend, to play Notre Dame. Week 3, you go to Starkville to open SEC play. To end September, Texas A&M. Then you finally see Charleston Southern. You'll never be so glad to see them. Then Bama and LSU in back-to-back weeks. Then Tennessee. Then you go to Auburn, Ole Miss, Lou Monroe, and Mizzou in November. It's got 3 wins written all over it. You better like $4.5 million and tell your buddies you're coaching in SEC West. You better have 5 years too. And you better hope Hunter Yurachek stands behind you, beside you, with you. I was told that on Sunday morning, Hunter Yurachek was not that wild about making a move. And they said, you make a move or we make a move with you.
Made the decision a lot easier.
So for Hunter Yurachek and a new coach, what kind of agreement do you start out with? We'll talk about that with John Thompson and Barrett Jones when we talk college football. When we start hour number 2, we talk the Grizzlies. We do it with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal. You're listening to Sportstime with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
One of the things that marks a truly great restaurant is how much they use local products. And 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination, is no exception. Whenever possible, Prime works with local farmers to bring the freshest ingredients to you. That goes for everything, including the bar, which carries Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye, both locally distilled spirits. 117 Prime is committed to the finest quality in everything they do, and you'll know it from the first bite and the first sip that you're in a really, truly special restaurant. You'll know you're at Prime.
It's the holidays, people, and our guys at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch told me to say a big thank you to everyone driving All-Star Chevys, and to each of you wanting to buy a new Chevy to come to All-Star Chevy today. Test drive the Silverado, Traverse, the new Camaro. It's ABC simple. A, the All-Star Chevy Challenge to bring any written offer from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to All-Star so they can give you a better deal or buy you a tank of gas. B, better buying experience that's fast and fun for you. And C, customer care to take care of everything you need so all your future cars and trucks to be in the All-Star family. Because over 75% of All-Star customers are repeat buyers, and no other Mid-South Chevy dealer can say that. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Not South Haven, not The Pike, not Collierville. It's gotta be Olive Branch. So go to allstarautogroup.com and find the Chevy you want. If you don't see it there, they can get it for you fast. allstarautogroup.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Hour 2 begins on a fun Monday, November 11th. A solemn and respectful commemoration of Veterans Day from us to everybody out there, and we know everybody out there joins in that. Every day really should be Veterans Day. Dave will join us at some point. We think about 5 o'clock tomorrow. He will be out with the Tigers playing Oregon tomorrow night in Portland. Before we get to David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal and talk the Grizzlies, I do want to read so many great texts, and I know where this texter is coming from with this. The text says, what word is fan derived from? Your sermon is falling on deaf ears. I hear you. I know where you're coming from. But until we quit going to our respective corners and not show some unity with others when they're under the microscope of the NCAA, then it's going to keep being like this, and it's going to be your team next. 67129 to text in at the First Bank text line, 360-8255. First Bank phone line. We go to San Antonio. We visit with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal on the road with the Grizzlies. They're in San Antonio tonight to play the Spurs. The Grizzlies fell to 2-7 on Saturday night without Ja Morant. David Cobb, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Stats. I should have great service today because I am inside the AT&T Center talking on AT&T service. So
what could go wrong there, David?
I know we were a little spotty last week, but hopefully we'll be better this time.
No worries whatsoever. The reaction to Ja Morant not playing Saturday night, I have voiced my displeasure with it. I don't know why after 9 games, only 8 games, somebody would need to rest. I know it's people making that call above Taylor Jenkins and above maybe even the general manager. I just think it's ridiculous, David.
You know, the thing is he's okay with it. And so we talked to him today. It's just Omari and I who were traveling from the beat. And so we talked to him after shoot-around, and I just kind of asked him, how he feels about it. He essentially said that if they think it's what's best, then I'm rolling with it. And so to me, that's kind of what it comes down to is, how's the player feel about it? If the player's okay with it and the medical staff thinks it's best, boy, I kind of hesitate to say that it's necessarily a great decision, because when it comes down to resting your star player on a Saturday night
at home,
that's tough. As a small market team, you have to factor that in. You don't have a lot of leeway with your fans. If you lose season ticket holders, you don't have a deep well of people to go to recoup those losses. So you got to walk a fine line if you're the Grizzlies, and I think maybe they'll choose their games more wisely in the future. They knew there was going to be backlash. They tried to get out in front of it. They did a decent job of that, but there was still a lot of uproar over it. And so I'll be curious to see if they're a little bit more strategic moving forward about when they actually choose to rest them.
Yeah, I'm not as I think the player, you definitely should have concerns about him, but I'm a little more worried about the ticket buying public, the consumer, at a time that this team stands 2-7. I think easily on its way to a 21, 22, 23 win season, and you need to get as many people in that building to be looking to the future as you can to be resting the number 2 pick in the draft 8 games in.
Yeah, it was kind of a downer because the crowd was actually pretty good Saturday night. I think it was the best crowd they've had. I don't know how it compared to what they announced for the opener, but in terms of the eye test, it actually looked like there might have been more people there Saturday night than there were for the opener. So it was a grand opportunity for the Grizzlies to kind of showcase him. And obviously they didn't choose to do that. And of course their response to that is that they're trying to make sure that he's putting on a show for the fans at FedEx Forum for many years to come. And I'm not saying that that's definitely the right approach, or that they won't end up burning some fans by doing that, but that's kind of the approach they're taking.
The
and
NBA,
it's a trend around the league.
Yeah, the NBA right now, they just don't want to be playing this many games from October to June, do they?
I mean, the science is there to back up what they're doing. I mean, look, there are some guys though. I mean, like James Harden, for instance, who's like, I don't need a rest. Like, I don't care for that. But 20-year-old John Morant is not going to defy the Grizzlies medical staff in front office.
No, he can't.
So like he's too nice. He's too young. He doesn't necessarily have the clout yet. Although I'm sure if he said he wanted to play, I'd like to see who in the Grizzlies organization would have stood up and said no. But yeah, it's a league-wide thing now where guys are doing this, and the idea is to be healthy late in the season. I mean, the Clippers are going to. I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George combined are going to miss 60 games this season. But I think most people think they're going to be there in the Western Conference Finals at least. And if they are, then I mean, how do you look at that and say that they did the wrong thing?
I agree, but I just think for the long-term health of this league that really didn't have a ripple, I mean, had just nothing attached to it till the whole Daryl Morey tweet, and now building into the disgruntlement of some players. And for your long-term business model, when you buy tickets, let's say that family of 4 that circles Saturday night against Dallas, let's go see the infancy, the building block of the Grizzlies' future, and they get down there and there's no Ja Morant. I just don't think that's a healthy business plan.
Yeah, I feel bad for like the people who drove in, because if you live in Memphis, and chances are you probably heard about it in time to make other plans or sell your tickets or whatever. But you live up in Murray, or you live up in Jonesboro, you live down in Tupelo, and you've had this day circled on your calendar for a while, and you've been getting excited. You got your Ja Morant jersey, and then you show up, and maybe you don't even follow all the accounts on social media, so you don't know that he's not going to play. And then all of a sudden you show up and he's not out there. That's got to be really tough. I know it is on fans. I just think back to myself as a kid growing up watching the Grizzlies. If I showed up to the arena and Mike Conley wasn't playing, and whoever else, Rudy Gay wasn't playing, I would have been like, what is this? I didn't want to come down here and see DeMarre Carroll. No offense. So there's definitely that side of it that they've really got to be careful, and maybe they should choose less marquee games for those nights. Now, they wanted him to get 2 days of rest, including a full day at home, and that's why they chose the date that they did going into this road trip. And they're trying to abide by the letter of the NBA rules on it too. which is why they rested him at home instead of on the road. And I mean, that's what you get when you have a lawyer running the front office. He's got to do things by the book.
And David, I don't want to be anti-intellectual, anti-science, anti-provable facts and data, but I just think this whole the sleep doctors and the rest team and the dietitian stuff, I just think a lot of this is getting out of hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, just because you've rested doesn't mean that you're going to be better on the court when push comes to shove.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is going to force the NBA's hand a little bit, but ultimately it's going to come down to the players, because before the NBA does anything about reducing the schedule, reducing the number of games, they've got to go to the players and say, "Are you guys willing to take less money?"
Forget it.
Because because that's what it would have to be.
Not a chance.
Or maybe it's just, I mean, I don't know. What about a system where guys, can choose not to play, but they're not going to receive their full pay for every game they miss. Nobody's going to agree to that. So it's a tough situation the league is in right now.
In the David Cobb perfect world, what should be the NBA schedule? When should it start? When should it end?
I mean, people say it doesn't even really start until Christmas anyway, right? I say don't start it until then, because then you're mainly outside the shadow of football. And then if you do that, you still have the games kind of crunched in pretty tight, but maybe you only have 60 to 65 instead of 82. And you end the season at around the same time as you do now.
We did that the truncated year after the lockout. 66
Grizzlies
games.
had a pretty good year, didn't they? They went 41-25.
25, and it was a lot of games in a hurry. Now the sleep doctors would have hated that, because they had to get it all in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough, because you look at college basketball, the season is so short by comparison. There's so many days off by comparison. But you talk about a schedule that short. I mean, the money element of that is just so you think about Beale Street. I mean, obviously Beale Street is bumping for a lot of other reasons than Grizzlies basketball. But there's some businesses down there that would hurt a little bit if you eliminate 16 home games from the schedule, or however many it would end up being. So those are all things you got to consider. And in a small market, everything is magnified, especially with this issue, especially with the Morant stuff. Everything that they do in Memphis is magnified.
I mean, it's a lot of games. There are a lot of games this week. Tonight in San Antonio, Wednesday night in Charlotte, Friday night the return of Mike Conley, and next Sunday afternoon matinee against Denver. That's a tough week. Charlotte playing much better.
Oh, yeah. They're in the midst of 10 and 18. 10 games in 18 days. So, yeah, the NBA has eliminated the thing where teams would play 4 games in 5 days. They have reduced the number of back-to-backs, but the schedule is still very dense. And the Grizzlies are in a stretch right now where it's almost like a game every other day. I mean, and that's something that a guy like John Morant, I don't know exactly what sort of AAU schedule he played, but even if you are playing every day in AAU, that's only for a very limited portion of the calendar year. This is a situation now where for months on end, he's going to be playing almost every other day. And people forget, too, that he had a knee operation this offseason. So I think that's why you're seeing the minutes restriction. And let's be real, the Grizzlies have acknowledged, though they haven't said so publicly, internally, there is an acknowledgement that this is not a team that's even going to sniff competing for the 8 seed. So why risk it? It's kind of their approach. And there's some collateral damage with that approach, but I mean, they are all in. They know where they are. They know who they are. And until the backlash grows too intense, they've got a plan that they're going to stick with.
Through 7 games, who's the leader of this Grizzlies team? Who's the locker room sheriff? Who's the bigger voice?
Oh, that's tough. That's something I had questions about all year. I think Solomon Hill and Jay Crowder deserve a lot of credit. These are guys that neither one of them would appear to have a long-term future with the Grizzlies, but both of them have established themselves as sort of steady veteran guys. So Mike and Mark obviously filled that role the last couple of years.
There's the real void.
Yeah, I think Jay and Solomon are doing a good job of sort of being veterans. And of course, when it comes to speaking with the media, we want to hear from John and Jaren, and they're still very much learning. They're still works in progress in terms of sort of being the spokespeople of the team, but That's not what they're paid to do. They're paid to play. So that other stuff will come in time. But I think internally, Jay Crowder and Solomon Hill are doing a good job of that. I think the whole reason, not the whole reason, but a good bit of the reason why Solomon Hill ended up making the roster to begin with.
David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal, our guest. You can follow him on Twitter at David W. Cobb. It's a must follow to keep up with all things Grizzlies. From the Commercial Appeal covering the Memphis Grizzlies, he's in San Antonio, where tonight at 7:30 the Grizzlies play the Spurs at a place that historically has been a house of horrors for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Hey, they're 1-0 here since I've been on games that I've attended.
I know they are, but it probably, I don't know if it's the biggest, but one of the biggest franchise wins ever came on that Sunday afternoon on that Shane Battier 3 to really launch that 2011 quixotic run that gave us grit and grind and gave us the towel-waving fun in the postseason. But for this team this year, we talk about locker room voices. Mike and Mark often didn't seem very comfortable in it. Project forward 5 years, 6 years. Would Ja and Jaren, do you think they will be more comfortable someday than Mike and Mark were in that role?
Yes, but it's hard to say for sure. I don't think either of them display like the early signs of that yet. I think it's still something that they're very much going to have to grow into. I mean, they're 20 and they know their roles. Give them credit. I don't think it would necessarily sit well if the 20-year-old were trying to be very demonstrative. One thing I'll give Jaren credit for that I really noticed over the last couple of games, even as he's gotten a lot of criticism for not playing well early this season, he seems to be a lot more vocal on the defensive end. You can hear him calling out picks. You can hear him directing the defense from underneath the basket, and that's something that Marcus Saul did a really good job of.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I noticed. I think that's something that Taylor Jenkins has emphasized with Jaren, and I think he's taken a step forward there. So kudos where credit is due there, because that's definitely something that has stuck out to me from watching the Grizzlies so far this season.
Dave Woloshin joins us now from Portland. Jump in, Dave. We know you're going to join us for a little while and then back again at 5.
5:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stay at the bottom of this, and then I will head back to the hotel. I am on the Nike complex. The Atlanta Hawks just finished right before Memphis on the Nike facilities here, the Nike complex. They practiced before they caught their airplane to go to Denver, and then the Tigers followed suit. So coaches and players were sort of mingling, and that was kind of fun to watch. It is beautiful here, Brad. I don't know if you've ever been in this Nike complex, but it's 60 degrees right now, sunshine, golden fall sunshine with all kinds of beautiful colors. And for the Tigers, it's business as usual. You would not know there's any kind of controversy or anything swirling around them. James Wiseman and company, incredibly focused. And I got to tell you, today, and I don't know if this is a statement by national people or not, but the Lute Olson Player of the Week goes to James Wiseman, National Player of the Week, and he was also the Freshman of the Week by the ANC. So I was pretty impressed how focused in this team is. They went over a lot of sets and everything else to get ready for Oregon, and then they got this wonderful tour of the history of the Nike complex and the way the company was built. I just asked one of the employees here, who's a former Memphian, how many shoes a year they sell. And I'm astounded. 300 million shoes. That doesn't take into account apparel or anything else that they do. 300 million shoes. Think of that.
Dave, we're visiting with David Cobb. He's in San Antonio with the Grizzlies. You got anything on the Grizzlies with him?
Well, David, I know that the load management issue is obviously still being spoken
Poor
about.
Fizdale, man.
By many.
Fizdale cannot catch a break, can he? He goes from one relatively dysfunctional situation to another. I mean, who in their right mind thought that Knicks team was going to be good? Apparently, their owner did. Apparently, their front office did. But outside of those three people, did anybody in the country who follows the NBA actually think that the Knicks were going to be good?
Nobody did. And how about this? And how about this for David Fizdale? What if it's this case, guys? What if he's just not very good? Now, he's gotten 2 horrible assignments, but what if he just can't coach?
I mean, what evidence is there that he can?
That's right.
Yeah. I feel bad for him, but-
I do feel for him, because they don't have any guard play. They did not put anything together that would help him. But apparently, the president and general manager, Steve, I think it's Mills, he's basically trying to talk Donlin into firing him unless that's already occurred. I know that's the plan, but at this point, Tisdale is still employed, is he not?
At this point, but it's fragile.
He's got like more than $12 million left on his contract, reportedly. So it's not quite Willie Taggart level buyout territory, but it's going to be a big pill to swallow if New York's going to fire him.
It's approaching Chad Morris, though. David Cobb, you be safe in San Antonio, and we'll visit again next Monday, and we'll see you soon at FedEx Forum. Thank you.
All right, hey Wolo, you got to go to Voodoo Donut and get the Memphis Mafia. It'll live up to the hype. I promise.
You're right. Voodoo Donuts is on the docket for tomorrow morning. There's no question about that.
Thank you, David. Be safe.
Take care, guys.
David is in Portland with the Tigers, so all pretty normal on the trip?
Incredibly normal. You would not, as I said a little bit earlier, I know all the talk around the press, around the city, because I've talked to a bunch of folks in Memphis today. It's all about what's going on and the fight with the NCAA. I'm telling you, at practice, in the group that surrounds these players and coaches, it is all just focus on Oregon. There's not any discussion about anything else.
Well, a big test tomorrow night, and they will have to compartmentalize. As I said all summer, or after the schedule was released, that Wednesday could be the day that all of the college basketball world would be talking about the Memphis Tigers from their performance in Portland. They're already talking about them. It is the talk of college sports, and most people are under the unification, go get them, and very supportive. The media lockstep, but most fans that we've interacted with and I've talked to, and that you hear out there, because Dave, somebody wants somebody to take the NCAA down. Now, it's real easy when that somebody isn't you.
I would agree with that, but I do think there is a prevailing sense amongst national pundits, among people who've watched this for a long time, that this is the time to take them on. The door's already been opened. The change is inevitable because of what the state of California did with the fair pay bill.
But that's a whole big old state doing it.
An image. Well, that began this not only open door, but I think it gave people the sense to say what the NCAA has been doing is wrong, and that we've questioned about selective justice here for a long time. I know many Ole Miss fans felt the same way when you watch North Carolina get away with what is supposed to be the most egregious of all of the violations, which is academic fraud, and nothing occurred to them on a loophole, but it happened, and they got away with nothing, and then, little schools get the book thrown at them. And, I think this goes back also to the sense that Memphis should have taken on the NCAA after Derrick Rose was cleared by those people, and then they came back and took everything away. Well, this is, again, it's the second time, and I'm not speaking for the university, but my sense is that they said enough is enough. And I think there's another sense here, is that Memphis promised that they would take care of James Wiseman for the year that he was here. And that means if we promised you we were going to, and by the way, the NCAA, in their own sense, promised him the ability to play when they cleared him back in May.
Right.
And they knew about the penny $11,500. They cleared him. That's a promise to allow him to pay.
And then the goalpost moved.
And I think the bottom line is that Memphis felt they got to take care of their own, and that this was wrong, and they're going to go to the mat with them.
Well, and with that is every chip in, and I just wonder if between now and next Monday at the court date, if there could be some back channel, amicable concession made and maybe some games missed for James Wiseman, or is it all the way for the Tigers?
That is a good question. Well, two things that come to my mind on that. The penalty, at least initially, was going to be 30%, according to Seth Davis in The Athletic. So that that would have been a total of 9 games he would have missed. And so they knew that, and they that was not acceptable to them. The other thing that we really kind of wonder, honestly, Brett, and I don't know, but what has the NCAA got to take the stance that they've taken the way they did? Maybe on November 18th, which is basically a hearing to present evidence, both sides. James Wiseman will present what he thinks he's been wronged by the NCAA and the university, and in that hearing, the NCAA will answer to what they think is wrong. Now, maybe they've got evidence of other things that we don't know about. I certainly don't know. In all honesty, I hope not, and I don't think there is. But if they've got something, then that changes everything. But at this point, I would think that you could keep backing this thing up from the great knowledge I've gotten from reading about 18 different stories of the legalities of this from all kinds of different publications. Mm-hmm. The best sense you can get is this thing could be backed up through April, and by then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, but eventually it'll matter because we know about banners and trophies and all that and record books. Eventually it could matter. And when they said last Tuesday, don't play him, and then he plays, and then on Friday, we really mean don't play him, and they play him, I don't know how you hit an amicable, peaceful settlement of that.
I don't, unless they say, "Ooh, all this national publicity is against us. Maybe we need to think this. We did clear him." And if they don't, maybe they've got new evidence. I really do not know. Maybe there will be a bargain that's struck. Well, it's supposed to be 9 games. We're going to do 4 games. Mm-hmm. And who knows? And we're just sitting here speculating on all of that. Pure
speculation. I just don't see the NCAA being that concerned with being called ugly names nationally because they've been called every name you can think of. Dave, we got to hit this break. When we come back, we'll have John Thompson. You staying with us?
No. I will join you in an hour. We are about to leave here, so I've got to. I'm on a schedule myself. I'll talk to you at 5:30.
You got it. Dave will rejoin us at 5:30 from Portland. We take this break. John Thompson he'll join us when we come back and talk college football. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. With a family coming home for the holidays, are you going to be running out of hot water? Not with a tankless water heater from Conway Services. It may be time for a tankless water heater that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Plus, no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots, work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Is imitation the sincerest form of flattery? Not when it comes to your car audio. Stereo One is the leader in car audio, remote start, security, and more for the past 30 years. Stereo One is proud to announce the grand opening of their new location, 1983 Covington Pike, across from the Honda dealership. To celebrate their new location, Stereo One has marked down their entire inventory. Remote start systems at $129 with free installation. Subwoofer base packages start at just $199. Window tint starting at $129. The entire inventory of radios and touchscreens with features like Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, and backup cameras are marked to go. Check out Stereo One before you buy online. Their knowledge, friendly sales staff, and pro installation team will take care of you. Visit the Stereo One new location today, 1983 Covington Pike across from Honda, or visit their mega store at Mendenhall and Winchester. Make sure you go to the originators and not the imitators. Stereo One is still the one for your auto accessories.
Hey Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 66, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week, Ron Sells joins me in studio as John is live from the Wolf Chase Honda Mobile Studios as we recap Houston and get you ready for another road test in Tampa against South Florida.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshyn and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave's in Portland with the Tigers. We think he'll rejoin us about 5:30 or so. He's going to be out tomorrow with the game tomorrow night, but he'll be back in here on Wednesday. On Mondays during college football, we talk with our friend John Thompson, veteran college football coach from the SEC, coached at the University of Memphis. And once upon a time, he was the head coach of Bebe Orgeron. And Bebe had a big day Saturday, John.
Oh, man. Bebe had a great day Saturday.
and then they catch him in the post game with his true self.
And he went baby on us.
He did. But you know what? He'll probably get a pass for that. A lot like, the manager from the Cardinals. It won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
They'll just kind of let it go because that's really
John, I was really surprised Bebe curses.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. But, he came in. I don't know if you saw the video of him coming in on the Tiger Walk before.
Hey, to the victor go the spoils.
Excuse me?
To the victor go the spoils.
Exactly. And you know what? That's what he's become himself in doing that, and not trying to be Pete Carroll, not trying to be Monty Kiffin, and let his other guys coach and be the inspirational, motivational, passionate leader of the team, and that's his niche. And obviously, it's working pretty good because those guys are really good. I just hope they hadn't put all their eggs in one basket. And I don't think the players have. It looked like Burrow, in a couple of interviews that I saw with him, hasn't. But you can get it all out there in one game and have a hard time. And I'll tell you what, these Rebels, that'll give them all they want if LSU's not coming in there ready to play.
Well, Ole Miss sure hoping that LSU left a lot in Tuscaloosa, and we know the Alabama factor of when you play them, sometimes you're still playing them a week later. But LSU on Saturday, I've already heard some, not many, and the Alabama friend of mine didn't say it really that tauntingly. He just said it, I look forward to a rematch. I don't know if Alabama wants that. I thought all day Saturday the better team was purple and gold.
Well, they were, but you know what? Alabama, if you go back and look at that, they really had a very, very good second half, and they stuck to it. They kept running the ball. They outscored them 28-13 in the second half, but LSU did enough and kept playing well. I mean, both teams really played well, and obviously, I'm sure you've talked about it a lot. The uncharacteristic mistakes that Alabama made. Tua, he was tucking the ball, and the nose of the football gets above his bicep, and it slips out, and then the fumbled snap on the punt. Those two were obviously critical plays.
Johnny, the first drive of the game, Alabama marches it right down there, pretty simple, easy, and came out with 0.
Yes, absolutely. And then, the guy that, and he's starting to get a little bit of recognition. Burrow obviously was phenomenal, but Clyde, the drive, Edwards, Hele, he was
battering ram.
Unbelievable.
It really
unbelievable. Was. Put the team on his back in the fourth quarter, and was the difference in the game then, no doubt.
Yeah, he was the closer. He was the clock killer, and he was, Dabo Swinney famous for it. I first heard Bill Clinton say it. It was a bucket full of guts.
Well, he was. He wasn't going down, and they, that's another thing. Steve Ensminger, I think is I keep saying this a lot. He's the unsung hero on this team. I mean, to come in and give up a lot of the control of the offense, and Joe Brady gets so much attention and coming from the Saints and doing what he's done. Ensminger's been around a long time and is a veteran and has really taken over and done a tremendous job with that offense and allowing it to be changed and to not have, to not have his feelings get hurt and pout, do some things. He's really showed a lot of maturity and showed a lot of things to get the best right now. One of the two best offenses in the country. Ohio State's playing pretty good too, but LSU may be the best.
I'm glad you said that because I gave that warning a little bit earlier. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to anoint. I'm ready for Joe Burrow to go to Lower Manhattan and join Billy Cannon as the only two LSU Heisman Trophy winners. But don't dismiss what Justin Fields is doing at Ohio State.
No,
that's unreal.
No. Exactly. And then now with the running game from LSU, Burrow's going to have that so much better. I mean, that's where Ohio State, they can just pound you. And I think, and in a game, if you want to talk about Auburn and Georgia coming up, those are, to me, the two best offensive lines in the country are Georgia and Ohio State. And that's where Georgia's going to have to win the game against Auburn in running the football. I really believe that. And that's going to be exceptionally hard against that Auburn defense. But that's, I think those two, Justin Fields has done a great job there with Ohio State, but he's got some weapons also.
Who are your top 4 teams in the country?
You know what? LSU right now is playing better than anybody. Ohio State, you know, I still think Clemson.
I do too.
And I'll go number 4. I'll keep Alabama in there. I just, you know, maybe Minnesota's a good team, but if you look at what they did early in the year, it just doesn't get your blood rolling narrow at all.
But keep winning. It's a good story, and P.J. Fleck has really tapped into something. Man, if he didn't pat and row the boat, he left out a lot of cash, didn't he?
He did. He really
He's having
did.
fun, isn't he?
I think the 5th best team in the country is Georgia. I'd go LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, Bama, Georgia, and then put Oregon, Minnesota, OU kind of in that next. If we would just go to 8. That would be perfect. One of those would have to be out.
It would be. And John, I did this today. Now, I did it intentionally. I was trying to go losses and craft my way and weave through things. And I did it intentionally. I think it's very remote at happening. But there's a chance. And I'm not talking about, you know, we could get hit by asteroid chance. There's a real chance. How about this one? 3 from the SEC and the Memphis Tigers.
That would be awesome. When did you say you did that?
Early this morning.
Late Saturday night?
No, early real early. I mean, literally 5:42 a.m. this morning. I had the lightly shaded pencil out, Drew, trying to figure out a way.
Yeah, you may have stayed up a little bit late on Sunday. That would be fun. That would be awfully fun. I think Memphis has got has got a little bit of a tough one this week. I think.
I think so too. With Houston,
they played a tough schedule. They're just not as good on defense as they've been, and obviously losing King was a tremendous blow to them. But their schedule early in the year really wiped them out. I'd be careful. I'd be careful with that. Having the week off after all the hoopla that went on with game day and having a great win against SMU. But they've got their hands full at Houston. Going to Houston and playing that, I think that's going to be an interesting game. Memphis wins. Memphis is better, but just be careful.
I so agree.
Be careful.
I so agree. Everything you just said, copy and paste. They're going to win. Just be careful. And I told Drew walking out the door on the Friday afternoon of the Tulsa game, just win by 1. At this point in the year, you just want to keep winning. Just win in advance. I don't think it's got to be that style points from this point forward. We're talking college football with our friend John Thompson. And Johnny, to the surprise of no one, Arkansas, after the loss on Saturday, they had to make a move yesterday. Hunter Yurachek did. It is an open job. You, like me, we have followed Razorback football our whole lives. And we've both, you work for them, you like them, you love them. I went to school there. I've had some of the times of my life going to Razorback games with my Razorback friends, but I don't think I've ever seen this job this unappealing in my lifetime.
No, I agree with you, and it's sad that it's gotten to that, and I definitely don't want to pile on with that, but it was really bad. It was, and it had to be done. I mean, they never got a quarterback, and that was one of the things that he came in touting. And they never got better. They actually got worse. And then when I saw a number today, Brett, that they had 135,000 no-shows in their 5 games. I mean, that's a lot of popcorn and and parking.
Johnny,
I mean, that's
$10 a head.
That's more than 20,000 a game.
Yeah, I mean, $10 a head, and we know it's more than that. So it had to be done. It is obnoxious numbers out there in college sports. I'm not that comfortable with it. I don't know why we got to pay ever a quality control coach $600,000, but that's where we are.
Well, the game, the TV has probably driven it to that. And we could talk a long time to that because there's so much money in the TV market. But you know what? I really think that Arkansas is in kind of the same mode that Ole Miss was years ago when they were coming off Houston Nutt. The timing with recruiting, they got to get it going fast. Time is of the essence, you know, as I've heard people say. But it's going to be a tough job. You take a guy. I mean, one of the people that Arkansas wants, or the people in Arkansas, obviously a Mike Norvell, a proven coach now. But if Norvell would take that job, that's such a risk for him. He may do it. He may jump to a Power 5 and jump to the SEC. But it's not an appealing job to a lot of people out there that are on their way up, and it's going to be a tough situation for Arkansas to jump in there and get a coach. They're going to have to roll the dice, or the guy comes in, such a guy like Mike, that he comes in and he rolls the dice, because it could be, as it has been for the last couple of coaches, it could be a career, I'm not going to say career killer, but a career detriment for sure.
And with your Arkansas background and you having coached at both the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville and Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, Johnny, there was a time in my life I would have bet every bar of gold at Fort Knox that the Razorbacks would never hire a coach that's been the head coach at Arkansas State. There's really 3 prospects right now. There's Gus Malzahn, always the dream candidate for Arkansas. There's Brian Harsin, and I hear Hugh Freeze is doing everything but begging to get in play for the Arkansas job.
Well, of those, and I know all 3 of those guys pretty well. Worked with all 3 of them. I can't see Harsin coming down here. He'll stay at Boise before he comes back to Arkansas. I just can't see that. He's there. This is just my opinion. Freeze, I think Freeze would enjoy doing that. You know, we'll have to see if there's been enough time involved in that. I'm not sure that if I was a betting man and in Vegas, I'd have to put a lot of odds on Gus being the next guy. I think he could push the restart button by doing that. Auburn is one of the most troublesome coaching jobs. It's a great place to coach, great players, but you lose a couple of games, and he's going to stay on the hot seat there forever. He can push the reset button, come to Arkansas, work out a good financial package from both sides, and Gus, would do well there. So that's who I would tout. There's still a couple of names. Leach would be fun. That would make it a lot of fun. I don't know how long he'd last
for a little while
at a place like Arkansas, but that's my opinion.
Johnny, we love visiting with you every Monday, and we'll do it again next Monday. And I think the Arkansas hire will come really quickly after the season because of this early signing period. But we'll talk about that down the road. Thank you for your time today.
Appreciate it. Well, that's what started it, Brett. That started it a whole lot.
Sure did.
Is the early signing period. That's why
we'll see more and more of it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Glad to talk to you.
You got it. Talking college football every Monday with our coach, John Thompson. And there will be other changes. Florida State opened the floodgates when they did that 2 weeks ago to Willie Taggart. Arkansas did it on Sunday. So 2 Sundays in a row at pretty big profiled, big payout jobs, Willie Taggart and Chad Morris out. I don't know how anybody could argue Arkansas had anything else they could do with Chad Morris. When you lose to Western Kentucky and San Jose State at home and you hadn't won a league game and you had the 2 most embarrassing plays in college football over the last 2 years, the rope-a-dope fake punt, the possum play last year against North Texas that they housed 70 yards, and then this year, the 2-handed chest pass. I mean, it will just live in infamy.
It's laughable. I mean, when the nation is laughing at you and you're a team in the SEC West, you have to do whatever you can to stop it. And, I don't know if it's all falls on Chad Morris's shoulders. If the situation wasn't,
he came into nothing.
He came into a pretty bad situation, and we always talk about, did you lead the program better than you found it? No, but did he leave it worse?
That's a really good question. I don't know that he did.
Kind of flatlined.
67129 at the First Bank text line, 360-8255 at the First Bank phone line. We love telling you about First Bank. 75 offices across the state of Tennessee, third largest bank, headquartered in Tennessee, 58 full-service branches, 1,400 associates, and 4 great locations in our area. In Germantown, one on Poplar Bay International Paper, Highway 64 in Bartlett, and Highway 64 in Oakland. Experienced Memphis bankers that you know and trust, all with deep Memphis roots in banking and business experience and expertise. Visit firstbankonline.com, and they know what you need at First Bank. You need a reliable, trustworthy banker that can give you an answer. They make the decisions for you in Memphis, right here in Memphis. A direct answer from the First Bank banker you're dealing with. Not in Atlanta, not in Birmingham, not in Nashville, not in Knoxville. They do it right here, about you, with a full understanding about you. First Bank, they have a story and a record of customers reaching high. Community banks are the preferred lender of people building a success story. Build your success story with First Bank. Visit firstbankonline.com. We come back, Cool Style segment, round out hour 2, and Barrett Jones joins us to start the 5 o'clock hour on this Monday, Veterans Day. You're listening to Wolo and Stats, Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick.
Jim Gray from Westwood One here with a Monday Night Football preview. It's a big NFC West matchup with the league's last undefeated team, the San Francisco 49ers, playing host to the Seattle Seahawks. The 49ers escaped with a 3-point win last week over the Cardinals, but head coach Kyle Shanahan says that was Jimmy Garoppolo's best game so far.
On third down, that pass rush is coming. They always have their best coverages and blitz called, and you need a good guy back there. And everyone knows how well he can throw, can get his numbers. He's gotten it before. I thought the most impressive thing was the amount of times we threw, how many plays he made, and that we had no turnovers with it.
Russell Wilson in Seattle escaped an overtime win over the Bucs last week to move to 7-2. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will have the call on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to prilosecotc.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
O'Reilly. This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for Football Grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Who wants to go see some lights?
Funny thing about the holidays is nothing flies by faster.
Hey guys, want to build a snowman? Yay! Ready to open presents? Yay! Excited for New Year's? Woo! Who's ready to go back to school?
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vic ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Closing out this hour on Monday, we always do it with our Ghoul-style segment, and that time of year, the perfect gift card for any party you're going to. Look, if you're going over somewhere Thanksgiving afternoon, you're invited, don't take a bottle of wine. Take a Magoo's gift card. It's the gift you cannot go wrong with for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays. Make someone feel special with Ghouls. And nothing says Memphis more than Ghouls, does it? All the great locations, one never far away from downtown at the Peabody to out east in Park Place where the Ghouls Academy is located. In Olive Branch, been at the Square, part of the Renaissance of the Square, massage, body treatments, facials, or just a haircut at Ghouls. Established in 1932 by Mr. Sam Gould, he opened a barbershop and a powerhouse was born. Now 87 years and rolling into 88 years, that great reputation earned through exemplary service. It continues today as a family operation. Very proud of that. Still with that upscale ambiance, superior customer service, and 450 Ghouls employees to serve your every need. All the locations and that gift card. For weddings, anniversaries, holidays, make someone feel special with the Ghouls gift card. Follow them on Twitter at Ghoul Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. For me, it's the Titans. Yesterday, down 5 with 1:36 to play and to beat Andy Reid. Andy Reid, a Hall of Famer? You just answered it.
Yeah.
You just answered it.
I did. I really did. I wanted to say yes, but then I was like,
too.
What has he really won?
A lot of ball games.
A lot of ball games.
A lot of games in September and October and November.
Been great in Philly, great in Kansas City, but he's never won the big one.
And yesterday was just really true meltdown. Man, that was 3 Mile Island, wasn't it? That was awful. It wasn't quite Chernobyl. Chernobyl, you got to be in the playoffs.
Yes, Chernobyl playoffs. But that was a big old meltdown, and you pretty much had it wrapped up.
I mean, Pat Mahomes back early. He throws for 400, 72% completion rating yesterday, no interceptions. Now, Derrick Henry was terrific, and I don't know why the Titans don't give him the ball more. I would run him.
Great yesterday, but last week he only gets 2 carries?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but the Ghoul style for me on this Monday, it's the Titans. I want to really like Mike Vrabel, but he scares me. I don't know what I was expecting in him. I think a little more Belichick, and that's too much to ask of someone. He's still very young in his coaching career. When we come back, we start the third and final hour on this Monday. Dave may join us again from Portland. I know we'll have Barrett Jones with us to talk about the LSU-Alabama game. To the victor go the spoils. LSU, number 1 in the country.
Quick, hard one from yesterday's game. Better mustache, Andy Reid or Mike Vrabel?
Oh, Andy Reid. The test of time, too.
All right.
The long test of time. You wouldn't recognize him without it. I think Andy Reid had that mustache when he was the little kid in the punt, pass, and kick contest when he towered all over the other little kids. You know that one? That video?
Yeah.
He had that mustache. You know, the kid that had the mustache in 8th grade? He was that guy. We come back third hour on this Monday. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
The Man Cave sales happening now at Family Leisure. 3-piece theater seating sets, only $9.99. Massage chairs, starting at $6.99. Pool tables, now at $14.99. And shuffleboard tables, well, they start at $19.99. Still need to close your pool down? Call Family Leisure to get on the schedule. Mention this ad, $20 off. Complete your Man Cave today at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
Help Landers Nissan make this Christmas merry for low-income families by donating new, unused toys and gifts or monetary gifts to Trinity Church's Affordable Christmas Store. Low-income parents will get to pick and purchase gifts at 1/10 retail value. Donate at Landers Nissan or by texting Trinity to 77977 Tuesday, November 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's when Landers Nissan will match your donation. All donations go to provide toys for participating families.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
We welcome you into this third and final hour on this Monday again for Tennessee fans. College football fans tonight at the Memphis Touchdown Club at the East Memphis Hilton. Coach Jeremy Pruitt in town off a big, hard-fought win for them on Saturday night. As I said earlier, I don't think Tennessee's very talented. I don't think they're very good, but you can see the extension in them from Coach Jeremy Pruitt. They are tough, and they played hard, and they fought and scratched and clawed Saturday night to get a late-night win. We'll talk with Barrett Jones about it. He knows Jeremy Pruitt very well. We'll get his thoughts on that and the weekend that was, including the big one down in Tuscaloosa. After I tell you about DeSoto Auto Sales, they sponsor this hour, and we appreciate it so very much at 5704 Goodman Road. Check them out online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. They have very high standards. All the cars, test-driven, checked out head to toe. Unlimited inventory at DeSoto Auto Sales, and they promise you this, the ultimate car experience, because they know we're living in a world today that time matters, and they want you to get in and out of there fast. Test drive your car, paperwork, credit approved, you're gone in about 45 minutes. Kind, courteous employees, laid back, down home environment, no high-pressure sales at DeSoto Auto Sales. They want you to feel like family. Again, online at DeSotoAutoSales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road. Barrett Jones joins us now. Barrett, where were you Saturday night?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing great. What game did you do Saturday?
I had the Oklahoma-Iowa State game.
Oh,
which,
you had
looked like a real snoozer for about, probably 30, 35 minutes. And then all of a sudden, Iowa State came charging back out of nowhere and had a chance to win the game. In case you went to bed, they went for two right at the end of the game with like 24 seconds to go. Should have got it. There was a pass interference called, and Iowa should have won. That wasn't called. It was committed. And there was another guy standing wide up in the end zone. Oklahoma was very lucky to escape with a win.
The tight end was wide open on the little curl.
He was wide open. Charlie Kohler was wide open right there. Yep.
Right,
it was a great game.
Right call made by Iowa State to go for two on the road?
I think so. I think when you're the inferior team, Oklahoma went into a really weird conservative mode way too early there with a kind of three straight stops after they just dominated the game. They were scoring at will to start. And I think it was the right call, though. I do. I think they were marching the ball up and down the field and really should have converted it. Again, wide open guy. And, I thought it was holding and pass interference in the defense in that play. Really surprised there wasn't a flag.
And you did a game on Thursday night as well, didn't you?
I was actually last night.
Okay.
At Baylor, West Virginia, and then USC, Oregon. So I've been around. I have Baylor or Oklahoma this weekend. So
Baylor
sticking in the
Baylor and OU, Baylor and OU this weekend. The defeated teams eliminated because now the big debate around college football, it's not about one, it's not about two, and I don't think it's about three. It's about number 4. And Alabama, other than the Auburn game, they're going to win over Mississippi State and Western Carolina. Only the Auburn game can they improve, but how will that be viewed if Auburn has already lost to Georgia?
Well, it's a great question, and if you're an Alabama fan, you need to be rooting hard for them this weekend to beat Georgia for that exact reason, like you said, because they need a quality win. That's always a huge factor for the committee is quality wins, and frankly, right now, Alabama doesn't have any. Quality losses, that's not really a thing. It sometimes is kind of viewed as a tiebreaker, but it's not really a stat that's considered a whole lot. So, absolutely, it needs to be taken into consideration. I think, like you said, to me, I think it's actually going to work out pretty simple this year from the standpoint of the first 3 teams. I think it'll be Ohio State just based on the fact that I think they're a cut above anyone else in the Big Ten. I think it'll be Clemson based on the fact that, let's be honest, they're not losing. And then I think it will be whoever wins the Georgia LSU game. But then the 4th team is going to be wide open, and it really, to me, will probably come down to Alabama if they have one loss, the winner of the Oregon-Utah game, and then maybe Oklahoma if they're still in it. So that's the way I see it playing out. But it's going to be wild, and it never goes quite chalk. But there's going to be some really disappointed fans, I have a feeling, this year, regardless of who gets in.
If Oregon won out, and they would win the Pac-12 championship game by winning out, and Alabama does not lose, if it was a one-man committee, it was Barrett Jones making the decision, do you take the Pac-12 champion Oregon at 12-1 or Alabama second in the West at 11-1?
Well, I actually think that's one of the best things Alabama has going for them under that scenario, because another major factor the committee uses is common opponent. And let's just say that Alabama had beaten Auburn, particularly if they were able to beat them convincingly. And the committee was sitting there looking at the fact that Auburn was able to beat Oregon. Also, not to mention when that was Auburn's quarterback's very first start on a neutral site, and then Alabama beat Auburn, especially again if they do it convincingly on the road. I think that would be too big of a statement to ignore. I would foresee under that situation Alabama getting in over Oregon. Oklahoma, to me, is the wild card. I think they're, for all the early talk, I'm not really sure their defense is a whole lot better. They were very nightmarish in the second half. So I'm not sure they're. Look, I don't think anyone really thinks that either of those teams are better than Alabama in reality. But this just comes back to the old debate. It's not really about only the best 4 teams. As much as we like to say that, it's also about the most 4 qualified teams are deserving. However you want to word it, there's multiple factors that go into it. So, look, it's going to be a wild ride to the finish, and I don't think Alabama's out of it yet. And I know some people, kind of think that a lot's going to have to happen. I even think if it goes to chalk, that there'll still be a big decision to make at the end.
I think it will be a big and a tough decision that will be good for college football leading up to the drama. We're visiting with Barrett Jones, 3-time national champion, All-American at Alabama, and winner of the Heisman Trophy of academics. Heisman Trophy on the field is going to go to Joe Burrow at this point, isn't it?
I think so. I do. And look, let's have one other note. And I don't think the committee, maybe they don't really say this out loud, and I don't think they necessarily consider it. But I would imagine there's not one fan that was watching that Alabama LSU game that wasn't thinking, man, this is about as enjoyable as a football game as you're going to see. Who would not want to see that game again? That's just the reality of it. That, I guess maybe if you hate Alabama or hate LSU, you would want to see the game again. But otherwise, if you're just a neutral college football fan, that's a pretty fun game there that we saw, especially, and I'm certainly not saying this is why Alabama lost, but Tua looked like he was probably 80 or 90%, didn't really have much scrambling. So particularly if he's healthy too, and played the way you could kind of tell he knocked the rust off the first half and got into a rhythm, that would be a fun rematch to have. So I think there'd be a lot of people this time maybe taking the over after what they saw the first time. But yes, Joe Burrow, I think he locked up the Heisman to me, and unless something really drastically goes wrong, I think he's got it. He made too many big plays down the stretch. Gary Danielson crowned about 8 different times. That was his Heisman moment. So I don't know which one of the 8 times that Gary said it, actually was the Heisman moment. But there were a lot of instances of him making big plays.
Well, it was someday with the President of the United States. They're sitting in Jim Wilson's box. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Yeah. That's pretty good real estate through there, isn't it?
There's no doubt. That was it was definitely an event, and the game did not disappoint. It looked like it was going to for a little bit, but I think it ended up being, like I said, a pretty good game there. And who knows what would have happened if Alabama just could have gotten a stop there, one of those last 3 possessions, but they weren't able to do it. And again, got to credit Joe Burrow. And I think the just one little small note, like the difference in LSU to me, there's obviously too many to count, but like it all was exemplified in one play there late in the game where LSU is driving the ball down and it's 3rd down and 2. And normally LSU like bleeds the clock down to 1, calls a timeout, brings their big people in. But no, they went hurry up and they ran a zone read and Joe Burrow kept it. And everyone on, every football fan was thinking, why in the world are they snapping it so quickly when they can run 20 more seconds out? But they're attacking the entire game. And that's the difference, is they're just constantly in attack mode trying to put points up on the board. And I think it served them well.
It served them very well, and they had an aggressive style all day, offensive and defensively. And you called it. You thought it would be a game in the 40s, nothing close to the game of the century you played in 2011 when it finished 9-6. And in a rematch, I think it'd be the same thing. Now, had a Bama friend of mine today, someone well, not really pounding his chest, but saying he doesn't mind and would look forward to a rematch. I didn't see anything from Saturday that tells me rematch would be all tied. Did you?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be a great game, but I certainly didn't see anything that told me that would be a dominant one way. I asked that several buddies, and I would be really interested to hear the odds makers' take on this as far as who would even be favored in a neutral site game. I kind of think it'd be a pick 'em, honestly. That would be my inclination after what people saw. And, I don't necessarily think. I think the other way too, though. I don't think. Especially if you watch the second half, I don't think there's anything that necessarily says that Alabama has no chance to beat LSU. To me, it literally, LSU was absolutely the better team that night. And I think in a neutral site, it'd be pretty close to a coin flip as far as odds go, in my opinion, of what it would look like in Vegas.
And now for Alabama this week against Mississippi State, then Western Carolina, and then the Iron Bowl. And for LSU this week, they come to Oxford, and then they have Arkansas, and then they have Texas A&M. So the rest of the way for them looks a little I maybe a little stouter. I don't know. Having Iron Bowl is always pretty stout.
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty stout. And by the way, just while you're mentioning it, I know this is a little off topic, but we talked a lot about, and you mentioned Jeremy Pruitt coming to speak here in Memphis tonight. We've talked about Tennessee a lot over the year, and just obviously they had some early frustrations, but you and I both really like Jeremy Pruitt, and so I'm really pumped to see the way these guys have turned it around. And to me, when you look at Tennessee and you look at Arkansas, right? I mean, both teams have had disastrous starts, but the big difference is that the players, in Tennessee's case, they never gave up on Coach Pruitt. You could see him every week getting better and better, no matter what happened. That's hard to do, especially when you lose those kind of games and you have that sort of outside noise. So hats off to him. But then the flip side of that is I think, it comes time to fire the coach, which is never fun when you see the players have quit and they're no longer getting better. To me, when you lose the team, it's really hard to get them back. And that's obviously what happened in Arkansas, where the team was just, I would say they're very, very lost. When you lose to Western Kentucky, I don't care. It's not like Western Kentucky is that. I mean, it's not like they're having a banner year. They're just having a decent year. And they went there and just trounced Arkansas. So I think it was the right move. As much as I'm a big, I think that a lot of moves are made too quickly. And you need to give coaches time. But when you see a team that just kind of quits on a staff like that, I think that's when it's the sign of it's time to make a move.
In Tennessee, as I started right before I brought you on, I think they're definitely playing as an extension of the head coach's personality. You see it week to week. Barrett, I know this week you watch a lot of tape. If you watch that Tennessee-Kentucky game, especially when UT's on defense, watch Nigel Warrior, how he's playing, how he's just playing his can off. He doesn't need to hear it from me, but I can't wait to tell Coach Pruitt tonight, man, you should be proud of how that guy is laying it on the line.
He's definitely laying on the line. You're exactly right. He's had a really, really good season and had that interception, obviously, in the Alabama game. Really has played really well and playing hard. And, another guy, I think I can't believe I'm actually giving credit, but just Jared Garantano. I mean, I thought he played horrible at the beginning of the year and was a big reason why they were 0-2 to start the year. Missed a lot of open guys and looked lost. But to have what happened in the Alabama game, which, by the way, I know that people gave Coach Pruitt a hard time about that in some ways, the fact that he grabbed his face mask. Just so people know, I mean, based on the tape I saw and the play that was run, I don't obviously know exactly what happened. Maybe there was miscommunication, but what it looks like on tape is just that he totally went rogue and decided he wanted to score on his own. I mean, that's a play where you could sit a guy and never play him again, especially given all the other circumstances. But Jeremy Pruitt didn't say that in the press conference. He said there was, he was very vague about it. He didn't blame the guy. And look, here they are in position to come away with a 7-win season. So it's pretty amazing the way he's kind of held it together in a situation there where easily he could have blasted the guy. And in my opinion, would have really been within his rights to just say, look, Jared, just be honest with the media and say what happened. But he didn't. He protected him. And now he's playing hard again, and their relationship seems to be okay. So it's pretty. I mean, it's an unbelievable story of kind of the way they've held together the seams, and a credit to Jarrett, who he is as a person and a player.
It sure is, and he's playing hurt. That hand Saturday night, they had a camera shot that really went in tight on it. Man, it looked like the size of a canned ham.
Yeah, no, it did. It was that looked like a brutal injury.
And he was having trouble handing off because of it. The fumble to Chandler was because of it.
Ham is, to be honest. But I'm gonna go with it.
Okay, it's big, and you don't want you don't want your hand looking like that. Let's go back to.
I never had to eat the canned ham. I don't know.
Don't you don't want to. Let's go
back.
back.
Sounds like something I don't want to try.
Let's go back to the Bama LSU game, and I talked about it after seeing them in person. You've talked about it some, and it's not a searing indictment on Coach Saban. I don't think he's done anything that deserves searing indictments other than being ballyhooed as possibly the greatest college football coach ever. But the offensive and defensive line, they just don't have that nasty touch you guys had in 11, 12, 13 in that stretch. Barrett, could Tuesday, Wednesday practices at Bama be being affected by more spread, more throwing the ball?
Well, look, I've been to practice. I've seen guys go to practice. I'm just going to tell you, it's certainly different, and I don't want to be one of those old guys that, when I was in school, we had to walk to school in the snow uphill both ways. But
if it's true, it's
different
true.
Style now.
Yeah.
and that's just the reality. And I don't know the right answer. I mean, I don't pretend to be smarter than Coach Saban. I mean, he's again, like you said, the greatest coach ever. I think there has to be a balance of making sure guys are physical. I mean, just football in general it's played in a very different way. I was watching this week a replay of the 2012 Alabama LSU game, and I was thinking, man, how much in 7 years football has changed, and just the way it looks. And obviously, there's still the same fundamentals. And I had told that to a guy, and he gave me the old school answer of it's still blocking and tackling. I get that, but just on the exterior, it's changed a lot, and the way offenses run and the way that the rules are used to their advantage. And there's a lot of really good things going on right now. And frankly, by the way, that's no accident. I mean, they want that to happen. They understood that this is more fun for fans, and that's why they've steered the game in that direction to make it a little more friendly to scoring in that way. So yeah, I don't know if it's. I'm not ready to say that they're not practicing hard or anything, but certainly it is a little less physical up front. Now, look, to the O-line's credit, I mean, in that second half, they really started running the ball well, and they really did start to assert a little bit of dominance on that defensive line where you could tell those LSU defenders were very tired. But defensively, I think that really that front seven, especially the middle, if you exclude Anthony Jennings and Terrell Lewis, they're really young. There's a lot of youth there, and I was hoping that they would get better as the year went, but they've gotten a little better, but it really haven't had that guy step up in the interior and become a dominant force, really a linebacker or defensive tackle. And Raekwon Davis, he's a guy who's, frankly, to me, been a little bit disappointing. I was expecting him to have a huge year and sort of step in, not maybe fully to Quentin Williams' role, but at least be a dominant force inside. And frankly, he hasn't. He's disappeared in large stretches and probably no bigger time than in that LSU game. So, I think that certainly you could say that. And whether that's just the reality of football now or, I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what the deal is there and why that is the case. But you're right. I have noticed that as well.
And the Alabama front just doesn't look as physical. And in the three-man front, it always feels like the pass rush is just a step slow, whether it's by a D lineman or on the blitz. It's always one tick off.
Well, yeah, I think so. And, one note is, that I think after watching some of the tape and watching the game, a lot of what Coach Saban did was sort of modeled to me after what Coach Steele did in that game where they played LSU, where they played two high safeties a large portion of the game. Mm-hmm. And I had a Gary Danielson actually said it, and several people told me, I wonder why LSU didn't run more RPOs. And they run a ton of RPOs, but Joe Burrow, part of his greatness in that game was he was really disciplined that he handed the ball off a bunch. People forget that RPO means run pass option. And sometimes when the read calls for it, you hand the ball off. And, a big reason was that is Alabama was showing two high safeties, which this is real technical, but they hardly ever show two high safeties. Sometimes they go to two high safeties, but very rarely on first down do they just present you with a two high safety look. And they had that almost all game against Joe Burrow because that's what Kevin Steele had done. Now, the difference is they don't have Derek Brown. They didn't have anybody up front that was able to step up and control the line of scrimmage with six guys, and that's why Clyde Edwards-Helaire had such a huge day. So, yeah, I think that was probably the most disappointing thing to me was just the interior of that defense, and really in the passing game, too. I mean, that was really where most of the issues were, was just the whole middle of the field was not a great spot for that Alabama defense.
Barrett, outstanding visit with you today. Are you enjoying watching what Mark Ingram's doing with the Ravens? It's fun.
I am. It's a lot of fun to watch offense being played that way. It's a blast, and I'm very happy for him. I actually called the Ravens Steelers probably a month ago and got a chance to talk with Mark. Good. And I love Mark so much. He's just a great guy and one of my all-time favorites to block for. Probably my favorite guy. Let's be honest, that I ever blocked for. I loved Mark and just his attitude. It was infectious.
Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram, and you got to block for him and win a game at the Rose Bowl. That's pretty good.
Yes, we did. We had some fun. We had some fun times together. We had an emotional bro hug moment when I saw him out there, and he's just he's a great teammate and a good guy.
Barrett, so fun to talk. We'll do it again next Monday if your schedule allows. I hope so. Thank you.
Sounds good, Brett. Have a good one.
You got it. Barrett Jones talking college football with us on Monday. That'd be fun to be a blocker for a Heisman Trophy winner, wouldn't it?
And the Ravens offensive lineman right now yesterday got to do for 3 Heisman Trophy winners on one play. They brought in RG3 to run a Heisman trio with Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram, and actually gave the ball to RG3, and I think he got like 22 yards off of it.
That's a Lee Corso triple there, isn't it? 3 Heisman winners right there. That's right.
I honestly don't know if 3 Heisman winners have ever played on the same team.
09, 11, and 17 for...
Yes, 17 for one on the same team, and let alone on the exact same play. I mean, that's just incredible.
Monday Night Football tonight, and I know if you're going to have a game-watching party, you want to get out and watch it, good place to go would be to the Collierville Commissary or get some barbecue, some ribs, all the good stuff at either place, the Collierville Commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown at the Germantown Commissary. It's Memphis-style barbecue extraordinaire. Ribs, so delicious and authentic. Memphis-style great food. Begin your barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. The smoked chicken wings are fantastic. If you're thinking about going somewhere right now to dinner, go to either the Collierville Commissary or the Germantown Commissary. You can dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. You can get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich, a big gigantic sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. Comes with beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well. You can even order it by the pound or a 6-pack or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. We got to give away some 6-packs of barbecue this week from the Collierville Commissary or the Germantown Commissary, and the best lemon icebox pie anywhere I've ever had it as well. 754-5540. 754-5540. Online at commissarybarbecue.com. In Collierville and Germantown. Great party areas to watch Monday Night Football, to have a game-watching party with the 49ers Memphis fan club, if they have one. I bet they do. There are a lot of the teams that have those. Tailgating, and it's always time to put in your order for the 36-hour holiday bird. The Germantown and Collierville Commissary, Walker Taylor, he's done it the right way. When we come back, Monday Night Football preview between the Seahawks and the 49ers, and the Big Four, with it being the 50th year of Monday Night Football and the 100th year of the NFL. We did the 49ers a few weeks back, so tonight it'll really be 5, 6, 7, and 8, but the Big Four for the Seahawks, and I have an area player in that, and so sad that he is no longer with us, but he was some player, Hall of Famer from the area, one of my Seahawks. We'll take your suggestions at 67129 at the First Bank text line also. When we come back, we do that. We talk Monday Night Football. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail, so you get the haircut you want. And, of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, one part relaxing. The tea tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts. Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours. I love successes in business. 20 years ago, a guy named Matt Eflin decided when he graduated from the University of Memphis, he was going to get into the insurance business. And man, did he ever get into it. Now, he's got several offices around the area, all to protect you. The main one is in Bartlett, 8099 Stage Hills Boulevard. And the reason Matt is so successful, he's very young, but he's been so successful because he has a unique approach. He tries to have a one-on-one evaluation with each individual to check out their insurance needs. And he specializes in all types of insurance, personal insurance, business insurance. Basically, he sits you down and he asks you whether it's a business or whether it's your home, your family, what's the most important thing you want to protect? And then he figures out your options, collaborates with you, and voila, you're protected. 901-757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
The Man Cave sales happening now at Family Leisure. 3-piece theater seating sets, only $9.99. Massage chairs, starting at $6.99. Pool tables, now at $14.99. And shuffleboard tables, well, they start at $19.99. Still need to close your pool down? Call Family Leisure to get on the schedule. Mention this ad, $20 off. Complete your Man Cave today at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
The response from the text line today has been enormous. At 67129, First Bank text line could stay here till midnight to properly address every single one on all the issues of the day. I started the show with, as Mondays goes, this is a particular really newsy Monday. It is. It has been. It's going to stay that way until next Monday in the courts for the Tigers, and tomorrow night on the court for the Tigers playing against the Oregon Ducks. I would just tell Tiger fans to enjoy it. Don't let all the stuff get to you. Fight, dig in, support your university, and this is a fight that the time's been coming. Maybe since the Marvin Alexander, Sylvester Gray stuff, the unfairness, the lack of even-handedness toward the Tigers has been paramount. It's been 30 years. This is the time to fight and let the administration do the fighting, and you do the cheering. This texter knows who exactly from the area that I'm going to highlight on the Seahawks Big Four. Another one says playoff predictor has Alabama at 69% to make the CFP for whatever that's worth. I agree with that. Brett, for clarification, the U of M knew last Tuesday he was ineligible. Yes. Yeah, it was question mark. Yes. As I understand it, they were told do not play him last week. Now, we know what that would have caused last week with not going to the Bahamas.
Absolute panic.
not going to the Bahamas, not playing against CBU, playing against Lemoyne-Owen, clearly not injured.
Clearly not, especially in pregame for Christian Brothers, was out there doing windmill dunks.
They set him down. Well, you fill in all the blanks. Now, a bowl play by the Tigers, and then on Friday afternoon, they're told, we're really serious, and they still play him, and now we're at this. On the Arkansas hire, Texter says Arkansas should hire the best coach from the best conference below the SEC. Well, what is that? What is the best conference below the SEC? I mean, you're going to go out and hire Lincoln Riley? No. This is the first time, really, since Coach Broyles retired in 1976, that I know of in an Arkansas coaching search that they don't have the go-to dream guy. Now, a lot of times, the dream guy was not very realistic, and they really had no chance to get him. In fact, that year in 76, most of the dream candidate people was get Barry Switzer from Oklahoma. That was not realistic. I know he was from Crossett. I know he played at Arkansas. He was not leaving Oklahoma for Arkansas. They went out and hired a coach from the NFL in Lou Holtz. You got to remember, in Arkansas coaching searches through these 43 years since Coach Broyles retired, they've hired 2 times from the NFL, Lou Holtz and Bobby Petrino. Dave and D joins us back now from Portland. We hadn't gotten to our Big Four yet. I was talking about the Arkansas opening, Dave, and this being the first time I can remember they don't have dream guy. A lot of times when in '83 it was the dream choice was really Jimmy Johnson, and they could have gotten him, but they didn't offer it. They went after Ken Hatfield, who had won at the Air Force Academy. When Ken Hatfield really left them where they didn't have time for any kind of choice and had to make a panic hire in Jack Crow, so I know that was kind of one. Then they knew they could get Danny Ford. He had won a national championship. The Jeff Long hire of Brett Bielema was as bold as it gets. The guy had taken teams to the Rose Bowl, had won in the Big Ten. That was a dynamic hire. It just did not work out. Now I think it is really the toughest spot they've ever been in, and it's the least appealing that job has ever been.
I would agree with just about everything you've said. It's a shame they made the wrong decision in not going for Jimmy Johnson, but who knew then? And honestly, Kenny Hatfield was a very classy guy, and that was considered a great hire at the time. Jack Crow turned out to be like their Larry Porter. That was a very poor hire. And then you know what? Bielema I thought was a really good hire. It's reminding me more and more, though, of Joe Moorhead at Mississippi State, where it's just not the right fit culturally. Mm-hmm. They've come from different places, and that, everybody talks about Bielema being from Wisconsin. He really was more Oklahoma, but his style of play just wasn't going to work, and it didn't work. And it left them in this lurch. I never thought Chad Morris was the sexy, great hire. I certainly was willing to give him a chance, but and we all know that was all about Texas ties, and that's what you were hoping for. And now I guess if there is a candidate that you would consider to be your sexy guy, it's Gus Malzahn, isn't it?
I think so. That's probably dream, and he's just absolutely 2 or 3 times played him like a violin. And if he gets them again, good Lord, how many times can you go back to just be battered again and again by a guy? But if they get him, and that's who John Thompson said he thought they would get. If they get him, that's a case closer. That's a great hire from the SEC West. But remember all those comments he made after he played them 2 years ago, public and private. He said, I never wanted to go there. I can't win a national championship there. What changed in 2 years, Dave?
Well, and how do you take that back? But I
was just kidding.
I guess you say, you know what, maybe I'm special and I can come back and do that because it's me. I don't know what else you could say other than that. And there are people that we know could win anywhere. Nick Saban could go to any school. I truly believe that now, and turn the culture around and win at a level that could possibly bring you a national championship. Sure, I also agree with your statement that I don't think there's ever been a lower time in the history of
Never.
that school when it comes to the football program. And we know, and we've touched on it here, but it needs to be repeated. The biggest difference with this job now and back when we just went through this chronology is that they're not the SEC school that can bring you Texas. When A&M came into the league, that was the end of that, and I think that's been the biggest negative for that program now in the long run.
It was fatal to them, and it has shown. I don't remember it was more of a national college football voice Saturday night, but he tweeted out, and basically the tweet said, go for Mike Leach. He's worked in remote places like Pullman and Lubbock, and then in parentheses, come at me, Razorback fans, but Fayetteville is remote, and that was in parentheses. He was joking, but it is. I mean, it's way up there. It's way over there.
I'll say this though: if given a choice between Pullman and Fayetteville
or Lubbock,
give me Fayetteville.
Give me Fayetteville too, and it's a great part of the country. I know it's one of the fastest growing parts of the country because of all those great businesses located up there. It's not hillbillies anymore. It hadn't been for a long, long time.
No, and it's very pretty.
It's beautiful. It's a great place to be. But for a lot of people, for a lot of recruits, it is way, way up there. There's no natural rivalry. It's really tough. All right, Monday Night Football tonight. 49ers in Seattle. This is the best Monday Night Football game of the year. It will sort out a lot.
No doubt.
In the NFC West. I can't wait to hear Dave's. This is really 5, 6, 7, and 8 after we did 1 through 4 the first time they were on Monday Night Football. Dave, I know Jimmy Garoppolo's got to be number 5 for you, right?
Not yet.
Come on, Dave.
But he's your guy.
That's not what the crowd wanted. We wanted Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm not ready to go there. I am.
Give me your list.
The man that saw the greatness. All of you just didn't believe in my incredible insight, but no, there he is. Could be MVP. We'll see tonight if he can beat Russell Wilson. But no. I think I did not have Steve Young on my original 4. I had Patrick Willis in there. I'm almost certain.
Very good.
So I'm going Steve Young, Frank Gore, Charles Haley, and Terrell Owens. Those are my 4 San Francisco 49ers 5 through 8.
And you asked, and we said it's going to be more of a July show thing. We might do that next July. Which team had the best? Boy, the 49ers could make a case. And I'm going to start right there. I did not have him in my first 4, but I got Patrick Willis right there as the next one. Then I go Terrell Owens. Then I go Hall of Famer, late, great Dwight Clark. And then I go running back, Roger Craig.
So I took Gore over Craig, and that was tough.
Can't go wrong. I mean, Frank Gore's first ballot walks into the Hall of Fame.
If we go top 3 quarterbacks in a franchise, and you got Joe Montana, Steve Young, and Jimmy G, that's got to be the 3 best ever.
Your third was John Brody?
No. Jimmy G, Garoppolo, baby.
He's not even better than Frankie Albert yet, or George Myra. I tell you, a really good quarterback.
George Myra, the Florida. I love George Myra.
Miami of Florida. I tell you, a good 49er quarterback was Jeff Garcia.
He was. No, he was.
But he's not top
John
8.
Brody, though. You remind me of John Brody. I forgot about him. He was really a great player. And then, of course, he was such a great athlete. He actually was able to make money on the senior tour.
He sure did. John Brody was a really good golfer. Drew, your 49ers.
All right. I did not have Patrick Willis in my first top 4, so he's at number 5. Number 6, I put Roger Craig, running back from the 80s. T.O. at 7, and Dwight Clark at 8, just for the catch and the catch alone.
And he ended up going to the Hall of Fame. I keep saying Heisman. I got Joe Burrow on my mind today. And he did have that catch. And coming out of Clemson, he was not the featured wide receiver at Clemson. Jerry Butler, that was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, was really the better player in college, but Dwight Clark had the pro career. Dave, you start us off with the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, you got to go with the quarterback who's there right now that really is the leading candidate to be the MVP. What a year he's having. Russell Wilson is my number 1.
I'm with you.
Steve Largent, the former Colts a great wide receiver who got into politics afterwards, a brilliant guy and a great player. Steve Largent is 2. Marshawn Lynch, 3. And then, man, I don't know. It's kind of a tie between both defensive backs, Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor. I'd probably go with Richard Sherman just because I love his sauciness.
Great list. And you mentioned Steve Largent, and you're right about his career. And after his career, he was young man in a hurry. People thought someday he might be on a national ticket running for president. You know what wrecked his career? He wanted to have the getaway from it all, no phones, no communication, trip with his boys, late August into early September 2001. They were literally like in the deep bush of Montana, just canoeing, no phones, no nothing, not checking with the office, nothing. And he was out of touch on September 11th.
Oh, my God. Literally
comes out from the trip, and like his staff's going crazy, like September 15th. He hadn't even issued a statement. He hadn't said, sorry for what the country's going through. Knew of nothing. And, boy, the people were so mad at him for being out of touch. Wrecked his career.
Wow. That's terrible.
It is
I didn't
terrible.
know. I did not remember that story. It sort of makes sense. Every once in a while, you do want to get away and you want to be unconnected, and even more so in this day and age than back then, because you were certainly not as quite connected as you are now. But that's just absolute being unlucky.
Boy, the bad timing award of all time. Your Seahawks, Drew.
My Seahawks, I have Steve Largent at number 1, Russell Wilson at 2, Marshawn Lynch, a.k.a. Beast Mode, at 3. And I put Walter Jones in at 4 because he's won a Hall of Famer and was on way too many top 10 lists not to be there.
Yeah, Hall of Famer, all those Pro Bowls. Kind of the same, a little bit different from y'all. Russell Wilson, Steve Largent. I'm there with both of y'all. Hall of Famer Kenny Easley. I have him on my list. And Hall of Famer from Osceola, played high school. Well, he's actually from Wilson, Arkansas, played high school at Rivercrest. Hall of Famer, the late, great Cortez Kennedy.
Cortez Kennedy's from Wilson, Arkansas?
You better believe it.
I did not realize that.
And man,
I did not know.
And he could go, and played for Bobby Franklin down at Northwest. Great player.
Yeah.
And gone way too soon. And the life of the party. One of the more fun-loving players of all time. Dave, we got a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Dave is in Portland for the Tigers and the Oregon Ducks tomorrow night. Long-anticipated matchup, even more so with everything going on. Dave and I had talked off the air today, and he agreed with you, Drew. Certainly not scandal, but a cloud, if you just wanted to get technical. But this is not too full-bore scandal yet, and I don't think it will be because most of the allegations are out there. It's been pretty transparent, and the whole big scheme of thing, what's $11,000? I mean, in $11,000, a few years ago, long before he ever knew he would be head coach of the Tigers. We come back, we wrap it up with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
What comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner.
Are y'all gearing up at the Rendezvous for the holiday season?
We've got ribs, shoulders, nacho boxes. We're stacking them high. The elves are working hard getting ready for the Christmas season. You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
With Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football. Kurt, A terrific game in the Bay Area. Undefeated San Francisco against the 7-2 Seattle Seahawks.
I cannot wait to watch this game. Maybe the best team in football when you look at the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy G playing good football, but it's really about the offense and defensive line. They're able to dominate in both areas. They're running the football extremely well. That defensive front is causing all kinds of havoc for other teams. And then maybe the best player in football in Russell Wilson. I mean, my goodness, the way that he's playing, touchdown after touchdown, gives them a chance every time out.
Should be a great one. The Seahawks and the 49ers right here on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
This year, the Home Depot can help bring the holidays home for free, with free delivery on online holiday decor like artificial Christmas trees, big, small, white lights, or multicolored. 140 varieties. Pick one out and we'll deliver it. Over the river, through the woods, right to your door for free. Free delivery on online holiday decor, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
O'Reilly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for our See Better, Drive Safer sale. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase a pair of Bosch Focus or Trico Titan wiper blades. We'll even install them for free. Plus, you'll earn double O-Rewards points. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
To yours, Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
You throw those ears forward, and he was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting. Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef are shredded chicken plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Dave, what'd you learn today?
Well, I learned today Memphis moved up to 13 in the AP poll. Oregon is at 14. What a game that's going to be tomorrow, and how focused the University of Memphis is. I learned the quarterback Joe Burrow won the Heisman Trophy for him and his LSU Tigers with the way he played against Alabama Saturday night. And I learned that Minnesota's for real. That quarterback, Tanner Morgan, is good. Their lines are really good. When you can push people aside and go 5 for 5 on fourth downs in the first half alone, you're for real.
I agree with you about that. Minnesota Gophers college quarterback from a little bitty town in northern Kentucky, a Cincinnati suburb, really good player. I learned that Arkansas AD Hunter Yurachek, he had to fire Chad Morris, or they were ready to fire him. Chad Morris went 4-18, 0 SEC wins, and Ty Story ended up with more SEC wins than he had as the Western Kentucky quarterback. Western Kentucky lost earlier this year to UCA, and now here comes the stories from the Arkansas media about Chad Morris, and 3 weeks ago they all loved him. They say he's terrible now, but 3 weeks ago you didn't hear those stories. He was the worst hire in SEC history. What is it you could have done without, Dave?
Oh, I could have done without the story about Don Cherry. If you don't know who he is to the NHL in Canada that John Madden was to the NFL in America. He's the big analyst. He was much more political and bombastic than John Madden. He got fired by Sportsnet for remarks on Saturday that alleged the country's immigrants don't properly honor fallen soldiers. And he had to go, and he did.
Don Cherry's career over, and that is a shame. Of course, Drew and I know who he was. Dave, we're hockey
former
guys.
Coach of the Boston Bruins and Colorado Rockies. And no, I did not get baseball and hockey mixed up, Dave.
Dave,
I'm very impressed for once.
Dave, you have a fun night out tonight, and tomorrow night we will be listening, and we will see you Wednesday afternoon. Thank you, man.
Well, you'll catch me the first hour tomorrow.
That's right.
Then,
I'm sorry.
And then you'll hear me, I hope, and then I'll see you. I look forward to seeing you Wednesday.
Very good, Dave. Thank you, man. Have fun.
Bye-bye.
Dave in Portland with the Tigers, and yes, we're going to play basketball tomorrow night under this controversy, but you're right, it's not a scandal. I learned today it is not a scandal. It has not been anything scandalously done. That sounds like the Tigers have been very transparent, and now we got to see the fight of all time. Cage match of all time. U of M versus the NCAA. Keeping a close eye tonight on all NCAA and legal news. Never thought I needed to be a lawyer to do this show, but maybe today I did need
Bluff
to
City
be.
Law at 9 o'clock if you need to learn anything.
You going to watch the Bluff City Law tonight?
Of course I am.
You going to update us tomorrow and all about it?
I will.
Any gratuitous sex in the Bluff City Law so far?
Not yet.
Well, you can't watch a TV show nowadays without that. No wonder nobody's watching. But maybe the best Monday night football game tonight in Santa Clara for NFC West supremacy. Grizzlies at the Spurs. That could be rough. Mavs at Celtics. Champs tonight. Toronto against the Clippers. The coaching carousel, it spins round and round. John Gruden's not getting the job, is he? For Dave, for Drew, I'm Brett. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for another edition of Sports Time with Wolo, Stats, and Drew on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Ben Swinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Ben Swinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Ben Swinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Ben Swinger Glass.
When you're in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandising at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find them among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame-retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way, and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Women's Sherpa jackets by Simply Southern starting just $29.99. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots, work, dress, or play. Come try on the latest boot trends as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Hi folks, Rob Walker, Infiniti of Memphis, and we've got a new Infiniti crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infiniti has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And QX50 MSRP starts at only $36,550, which is less than its Acura, Audi, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
MSRP excludes destination charge, tax, title, license, and options. Infiniti of Memphis or online at infinityofmemphis.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
One thing I've learned over the years, no matter what you're buying, the smart thing to do is to buy from someone who sells quality products, delivers great personal service, and knows their business inside and out because they have over 2 decades of experience. When you're talking about insurance, it's more important than ever because you're counting on your agent to come up with a policy that's exactly what you need from a company you can absolutely depend on, be there when you need him, and save money all at the same time. When you deal with William Glass or any of their staff at the Glass Group, you're not only in good hands, you'll find out that you can put the money a lot of insurance companies spend on advertising on the World Series or college football or basketball in your pocket while you enjoy first-rate coverage on your home, auto, and business with things like rate lock on your car. So you're not canceled for a wreck or a speeding ticket. Guaranteed replacement on your home and contents, earthquake coverage, and outstanding rates for business on workman's comp, commercial auto, and any other business need you may have. Worried about mayhem? Call William Glass at the Glass Group, 843-1190. They'll handle it for you. 843-1190. When it comes to your pet, you want nothing but the best in boarding, daycare, and grooming, and we say thank you, Memphis, for voting Barks and Recreation #1 in Best Pet Grooming in this year's Memphis Most competition. We're also #1 in boarding with indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please while they're being cared for by the best staff in Memphis, one that includes overnight staffing to ensure the safety and happiness of your pet 24 hours a day. And we're #1 in daycare with indoor and outdoor play areas, individual and group playtime, 4 walks a day, and small play groups to make sure that your pet gets the individual attention they deserve. Make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com or call us at 901-509-0909. Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove, between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. There are 2 or 3 things in life that you simply can't live without if you live in the Mid-South. One of them is air conditioning. We take it for granted, never think about it, till it stops working, and then when you're miserable, you make the mistake of calling the big-name company, and you pay way more than you should, or you call somebody who shouldn't be working on your lawnmower, much less something as important and complex as your HVAC system. When you need air conditioning or heating help, make the smart call to Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning at 494-9040. Brooke Dunn takes pride in his work. He'll treat you fairly, he knows his business, and he comes with the complete backing of the old Rain Man, and University of Memphis supporters will undoubtedly remember his grandfather, Coach Al Brown. Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning, 494-9040. That's 494-9040.
Did you know that paying a traffic ticket is an admission of guilt? It is, and it could result in higher insurance rates and add points to your driving record, which could result in your license being suspended or even revoked. It's amazing how simple things can turn into major problems, and it's why no matter what legal problem you may have, you need to know exactly what your rights and your options are. You need an attorney who is only interested in one thing, fighting for you, and I've got one for you, Chelsea Rainey. You can call her for a free, convenient phone consultation at 901-647-4861. Traffic tickets, driving while impaired, drug charges, misdemeanors, divorce. If you live in the Metro Memphis area and you've been accused of a crime, you need to speak to attorney Chelsea Rainey about your options and your legal rights. Chelsea Rainey is dedicated to advocating and protecting your rights. Your initial consultation is free, and attorney Chelsea Rainey is always on call, always available at 647-4861. That's 647-4861.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want, you just don't know the price. Until now, shop one price pre-owned vehicles today at AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Now, every pre-owned vehicle is clearly marked with our lowest price, guaranteed. That means no negotiations, no pressure, just one low price. And every certified AutoNation pre-owned vehicle is inspected in 125 different places, so there's no worries. Plus, your purchase is protected with a money-back guarantee for 5 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first. And as America's largest automotive retailer, you can shop one-price pre-owned vehicles from over 250 stores coast to coast. That's something you can count on. Shop over 20,000 one-price pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com or visit AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Drive pink, drive safe, drive now. AutoNation. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions may apply. See store for complete details.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by Gateway Tire and Service Centers, where there's always one thing you can count on. We go the distance for you. So before you hit the road for a trip across country or just across town, drop by any one of our 12 Memphis area locations. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Service Center, we go the distance for you.
Memphis Sports Radio welcomes you to the following presentation of Southern Sports Report.
The following program contains frank and honest commentary on sports. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Gateway Tire and Service Center's Southern Sports Report with John Rainey, the Rain Man, and Whitey Mills with Stat Attack Sports in Springdale, Arkansas. You can join the show by dialing 360-8255. Can't get to a phone? Email us at theboys@southernsportsreport.com.
Southern Sports